Yeah. I never knew what it could have been. Adrenaline kicking in, ain't no minute. We taking off for the cause and now by your miss. Putting out every fire like a fireman. I never knew what it could have been. Adrenaline kicking in, ain't no minute. We taking off for the cause and now by your miss. Putting out every fire like a fireman. I never knew what it could have been. The work we putting in won't be overlooked. Our body language, your boy looks shook, and he should be. I be Marcus, can't be at the rim, don't get touchy. I can't believe this is happening. The merge from north to south. I don't doubt many men, but many men in the end get lost. Hell of a cause, cause everyone tryna be the boss. But then society, give me a pause. Raise the applause for the fucking terrorism, making an error. Knee deep in every endeavor, stay classy and clever. Hieroglyphics to letters. Everything that I do is all for the better. I never knew what it could have been. Adrenaline kicking in, ain't no minute. We taking off for the cause and now by your miss. Putting out every fire like a fireman. I never knew what it could have been. Adrenaline kicking in, ain't no minute. We taking off for the cause and now by your miss. Putting out every fire like a fireman.
Yeah. You never knew that I spit them scriptures like rabbi. Spit that fake shit, never have I. You don't wanna be an enemy, but then I lie. Before I have to cut your body parts like a tan line. You out your damn mind, thinking you could box with us. We like some juggernauts, homie, you ain't stopping us. Pop the clutch, speeding off with lots of bucks. You watching us, get blinded when we cock and bust. Don't ever worry about what could have been. Death around the corner, know the casket's what they put me in. Living on the bottom of the bottom, what I'm looking in, I'm going after every fucking thing that I should have been.
I never knew what it could have been. Adrenaline kicking in, ain't no minute. We taking off for the cause and now by your miss. Putting out every fire like a fireman. I never knew what it could have been. Adrenaline kicking in, ain't no minute. We taking off for the cause and now by your miss. Putting out every fire like a fireman.
Yes, sir.
What am I doing wrong here?
Oh, you're not doing anything wrong, Ro. But everybody who's just joining us, thank you so much for jumping on to another episode of the Kick It Podcast, brought to you by Kick It Labs. Of course, we are live from the beautiful city of Oceanside, man. My name is Victor B. I'm joined by my boys, Old-Side Lens, Bruce, and we don't have Louis on camera today, but we do have him on the back holding down the production. So shout out to Louis, shout out to Piccolo. Thank you for everybody who's been doing the merch orders, man. He's working back there. So thank you for that. But without further ado, we do have an awesome, great special guest for you tonight. We are with Raul, co-founder of Guadalupe Brewery, located in both Carlsbad and Vista, Taste Room in Vista, Brewery in Carlsbad. Raul, thank you for kicking it.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me here. It's been a long time coming. Known you guys for a long time.
Yeah, welcome, bro.
Thank you for having me.
It's about time.
It is about time. It's about time I made over here. And not your fault. Just everybody's busy and
everybody's busy.
You know,
you got multiple businesses that you guys are running, dude. So we definitely understand,
dude. You guys are blowing up like crazy. So
thank you, bro.
It's a joy. It's a joy to see people that you've hung out with, partied for years, and then see them like, whoa. what, you're gonna go international? Like, oh, it's crazy, dude. It's like, I mean, it's just I can't wait to see what the future brings for all you
Hey,
guys.
thank you, man.
Thank you.
But you know what? You were able to give us a platform, a place to be able to do what we're doing here. So, you're a part of that success too, bro.
Hey, I look at it that way. I look at it as a proud father, not like,
That's
enabler.
right.
Any little thing I can do, I'm always, helping out my homies.
Yeah,
Anybody in North County, from Escondido to Oceanside,
yeah,
especially in Vista, because that's where I live.
definitely.
But we don't say no to the cities
Yeah,
around us,
yeah.
especially in the music scene.
Yeah, big time. And you have a background. You have a pretty interesting background that a lot of people don't know. Like, they just think, hey, he runs a brewery, he does this, but you actually have a big affinity for the arts and for music.
I do, because I'm a failed musician. Like, I can't play any instruments. My fingers are like little sausages, and I try, have guitars and stuff, and was never able to like play anything. But I was a pretty good sound engineer, and so that's what I did. I thought I would make a career at sound engineering, and I came to the States after I graduated in Mexico. I used to be in a heavy metal band, but I was the sound engineer and the manager, and not the musician. I'd write lyrics, but I couldn't play jack.
Yeah.
And I can't sing. My voice is horrible. So, and even when somebody, no, your voice is not that bad. My family goes like, your voice is bad. No, don't go there. Don't quit your day job.
That's right.
So yeah, I did say, I said, when I graduated from high school, I was like, we won when we were kids. We were in this band called Hamlet.
Mm.
And it was a heavy metal band back in, like, we're talking 1987 through 89. I was just the manager. My friends were like the musicians, badass and everything. But they went into this Rock en Español contest that was done by RCA and Pepsi. And, little did you know that we won the regionals. And it's like, boom, okay, so now you're going to nationals, Mexico City. So you got
Wow.
like 16, 17, 18, 16 and 17-year-olds winning this. And the average dude of the other bands was like, they were like in their mid-20s,
Wow.
the youngest ones.
Wow.
So we were the youngest by far. And the promoter's like, you guys won, you're going to Mexico City. We go to Mexico City, and there was 15 bands, no more than 15. Like, I think it was like 40 bands.
Wow.
And then from then there was going to be, then there was the 15 finalists, and they were going to be on a 2-album called Los 15 Finalistas de Rock en Tu Idioma. And the whole thing was that we were primed to win. Like, people were like, dude, you guys are like 6-7 years younger than the next band. And all these other bands were like Los Amantes de Lola. Some bands that are pretty well known, others that were like one-hit wonders. There was like a band called Heat.
Yeah.
I think Maldita Vecindad was in there, but you can look it up. It's, we were on this album, but we were heavy metal. It wasn't like heavy metal was like the thing back then. Like, you were competing against all kinds of different genres.
Yeah.
Went to Mexico City. We were killing it. There was a weird altercation I probably can't talk about. It's getting some people in trouble, but
Say less.
but there was
Things get
something that
weird.
happened that, like, my guitar player kind of got in a beef in a lobby with one of the promoters in front of all the judges.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
And that kind of,
Yeah.
them yelling at each other, took us down, and we ended up tying in fourth place.
Wow.
So we still got a single, A and B side single, and we were on the finalist thing, and we're still there. You can look us up. But it's a very different style of music than you probably heard. It's kind of like, between Iron Maiden and Scorpions.
Wow.
And lo and behold, we're like on this high. We're like, oh, now we're gonna tour, because we always opened for, like, we would open for Yuri, we would
Yeah.
open for like Caifanes, we would open for Maná.
Damn.
But this in '88 before Maná like went
Yeah.
super crazy. But in our little town of Mazatlan, we opened for a bunch of people, and we played bars. And so we'd make money, and we were making money to make our own album. But we said, oh no, we're going to make an album with RCA and lo and behold, they go bankrupt. So
Wow.
everybody on that album, everybody who had a deal with RCA got nothing. So RCA in Mexico went bankrupt, and all their artists got canned. And then they got picked up by other people. And we never got picked up. And we were all 17, 18. Half of us were graduating, half of us weren't. And so we saved money, record an album in Guadalajara, 8-track album, really cool album. of just 18-year-olds, and we recorded in the studio where all the famous bandas would record in Guadalajara.
Damn.
And dude, it was crazy. It's like you got these like 17, 18-year-olds, they're by ourselves managing their own thing. And the guy's like, well, we want like 5 mics on the drum because we got double bass drums, we got this. And the studio guy is like, dude, nobody does that in the bandas. Like, we're like, yeah, but you need it here because we got double bass. He'd never seen a double bass drum in the studio.
Yeah.
He was a badass studio engineer. So he's like doing stuff. We were the first rock band ever in that studio.
Damn.
And on the second day after we're recording, we're there just chilling in the back of the studio. Kind of, they had a little side table, and this guy walks in and just all boots, everything, huge belt buckle with a big G. And I'm looking at the G going, I'm looking at, and he's talking. He's like, "Hey, you guys want a drink?" And I hear his voice. I'm like, "Dude, this is El Gallo Elizalde." I'm like, "Dude," I'm like, "Paco, it's Gallo Elizalde." And he's like, "Hey, what's up?" I'm like, so we met Gallo Elizalde there. He's like, "Yeah, everybody record there. La Banda del Recodo, all kinds of band, they would record there." And we were like this rock. And so they didn't know how to mix us in, but we had a great time. We stayed at some like little motel there that was across from a hourly motel.
Oh, wow.
And so we were like 8 dudes in 2 rooms, and we would turn off the lights and we could just see all the floors on the hotel across. And it was like watching TV. You could see every room, like,
wow.
Oh, dude, what's the one in the black lingerie? Or like, what's that dude doing? Like, it was like literally like a crazy peep show, but not, you didn't want it. It's like, what? Like, close the window, people.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to be doing that, like, close the window.
Yeah. Well, Mexico is definitely different,
I mean, this is going to be, this is, 1989. It was 1989.
Wow.
So it didn't work out. So I came up here to the States and I went to college to get an engineering degree, which later turned out I got a Bachelor of Science in statistics and psychology. So I didn't get, but I worked in the engineering field.
Yeah.
And I still love all this stuff. And I really focus more on video, actually, like the streaming stuff we're doing here. I was doing that for over 20 years in coding video, working at QuickTime at the labs and Apple and other places. So a lot of fun.
There you go.
Those were the days.
Dang, bro, that was the most badass introduction that we've had in a long time.
The season's been lit.
Well, on that note, maybe we need to like pull out a bottle or something.
Yeah, let's do it, man.
All right,
let's do it.
Okay, we're gonna start with a reserve.
Okay.
You're gonna hit him. You're gonna hit us with a. Can I get you a drink?
Well, yeah. So we're gonna start with this one. It's called Esperanza, which means hope. I know you guys know what it means, but if the audience doesn't know out there,
yeah, it's gonna be the camera to your left hand side over there. There you go.
Or you can go to the boss here.
Yeah, that's really
so.
Good looking.
This is not your usual stuff. This is a Solera style farmhouse ale. So what that means is that it's not. It's done. 2 things are different. One, it's done like a traditional Belgian farmhouse, where you just make the beer and then you inoculate. And back in the day, they would just let the tank be open and they'd open the top of the barn. And so all the yeast that's, in all the agriculture around it kind of floats into the barn, boom, goes in there, starts making the beer. It's all wild yeast. This is in that style. So it's going to be very refreshing. That's why I want to start with it, because it's not going to be really intense on our palate. It's going to have some sour notes, some little funky notes. We'll see if you like it. We'll see who makes faces.
Okay.
But and we need a bottle opener for that. So I always got one.
Oh, there you go.
Well, you kind of have to.
Yeah. You can't own a brewery and not have a.
Well, no, I think it's more. I think it's more a Mexican thing. If you're Mexican and you don't have at least a couple bottle openers, then you're opening it with your teeth. But I can't do that. So.
Yeah.
Or like the lighter,
That trips me out how people do that.
Oh yeah, people respect, but
gnarly.
But it's like I don't want to see the dentist bill.
Yeah.
So I'll give you guys a little bit and then
thanks, bro.
Pass it around, my brother.
And then we got these dope ass Guadalupe. Was this like grand opening?
This is like from we opened. It's a really cool glass because it emphasizes the aroma. The shape of it is kind of nice. And it's only 14 ounces. So like when you're drinking, sometimes you don't want to drink so much beer. You want to drink more different beers.
Yeah.
Kind of gives you
There you go.
And then you're
No,
you're off.
no, I'm good.
Yeah.
thank
No
you.
worries, brother.
Yeah.
You want something else? You got limonada for my brother here?
Mm,
You got it covered.
He's got
I'll be
water.
fine.
He's
We'll
got
be
it.
all right.
I'll be fine.
He's got it
Okay.
right
But
here.
you guys
Look at
enjoy
that.
yourself though.
Well,
Yeah, definitely. Well,
here's
salud,
to
guys.
everybody on the crew. Salud. Thanks
Yes,
for
sir.
having me, guys.
Yes, sir. Salud. Salud
Salud.
to everybody out there, man. If you guys are sipping
Ding.
up, cheers.
That was great.
Now, smell it a little bit. That was
Damn.
great. He's like, now the first sip is going to be super duper sour,
Yeah.
right?
Let me smell that.
And it's going to smell a little bit like tepache. Have you ever had tepache?
Mm-hmm.
The more you're going to take like 2 or 3 more sips, and then your palate is not going to feel so sour. It's kind of like the first sweet tart.
Right.
There's always the tartest, but then you're like, this is not that bad.
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
With that citrusy, it almost reminds me a little bit of kombucha, but
Yeah, it can, because it has some of those wild yeast properties, and kombucha kind of has similar things.
It smells sweet.
Kombucha is a tea. This is made out of, wheat and malt and barley malt. The other thing is, this is a solera style. So what that means is that we have a huge tank, and then when we empty it, we don't empty the whole thing. We empty like 3/4 of it, and then we drop another batch on it. And so this has been sitting in the tank for 6 months.
Wow.
It's very slow, and it goes. So it gets all that complex layers of kind of flavor. This is
Wow.
very different than a
Wow.
beer, but I think in this weather, this is when you would drink it, and
Yeah.
it's hot. It's kind of like refreshing.
Yeah.
It's not your average thing. I know it's not bitter. It's not going to be like a beer.
Good.
But for people like this, it's more of a labor of love.
And can people purchase this stuff?
Yeah, we have it at the place. We have it in the fridge
In the
there,
fridge.
and we put one out every. We have actually a ton of bottles because we just bottled our 2-year.
Wow.
So that means our safe batch. Then we do about a third, and then it gets a little funky. If it gets too funky, you just clean the tank, restart it again. So
Mhm.
it just depends. Sometimes it can age and get way too sour, way too
Yeah.
acidic, but sometimes it just brings out the right. And then you can also drop this, like we're thinking of doing a batch where we take this, then we drop it on top of fruit, like on a bunch of mangoes or some peaches or other fruit.
Dude, I love your beer. I love your beer. There's not one bad one, and we go to a lot of places. We go to a lot of breweries, and sure, they have some good ones, and then they have like the regular stuff,
like the other tabs
anybody
that
can buy.
nobody wants
Yeah.
to drink, huh?
Yeah.
The ones that stay on tap.
But you guys always have something new up there on the menu, and you guys have the favorites. What would you say your number one beer is?
I would say, there's 2 types of drinkers on average that are like the bigger drinkers are like either people want like a really light beer, like a lager or a cream ale or something like
Mhm.
that, because it's just like they drink like, or they're the hoppy, stuff drinkers. So the
Yeah.
hoppier one, it's like the Hooked IPA we sell is our West Coast. It's got
Mhm.
Mosaic, Amarillo, all the fun stuff that people like. And,
Yeah.
and then we'll make like a couple other IPAs or more pale ales. Like we do the Jugosona,
Yeah.
which is not so bitter, but it has more of that juicy flavor.
Yeah.
And I think those are the people that like either like hoppy with bitterness or hoppy with a bunch of hops, or then no hops. Like
Mhm.
just keep it simple.
Big time.
So we kind of try to have both of those sides. That you kind of have to, because
Yeah.
for every one beer of those, for every one beer of those we sell, we might or for every 10 beers of lagers or IPAs we sell, we might only sell 1 or 2 Belgians.
Mm-hmm.
But I still feel that I got to have the Belgians, because the Belgian beer styles are the ones that made me want to be a brewer.
Yeah.
So I'm going to dedicate 1 or 2 taps to it. And that way, when people that do like those styles come in, they're like, you know what, I really like it, and I come for that, or they appreciate it. And at least I can say, like, there is this saying among the brewers, if you guys go to a lot of breweries, you don't see a lot of saisons. Saisons are one of the styles that you don't see a lot.
Yeah.
And the brewer community, they'll be like, yeah, saison stays on. It's like I brewed a saison, and 6 months later we still had it on tap.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? It's like I try to have a saison or something similar to that on there, just because, and the brewers appreciate it. Like, oh man, I wish I could do that, but I can't do that. We don't have that kind of space here. It's like,
Yeah.
and it's a business where you got to keep on brewing. You got to brew what sells, because you got equipment there that you're paying off, and
Yeah.
and it's no joke. I mean, some of
Yeah.
those big. I mean, I'm a tiny brewery, you know, but I have a lot of friends that own or work in big breweries. You know, anywhere from Culver to Pizza Port, where they're doing like 280 barrels at a
Shout out.
time and stuff.
Mhm.
I got buddies that work there, and you know, it's just a huge investment. I mean, we're talking
Yeah.
millions of dollars,
Yeah.
and you got that nut sitting there. You got to keep on producing
Yeah.
IPAs and producing what sells, and then every now and then you can do one of the ones you like. But
Right.
Yeah.
you
Well,
know.
well, on that note, Ro, I do have to ask. So, what was it that led up to opening up Guadalupe Brewery? Were you already mixing brews while you were managing the band, or how did that come about?
No, you know what's funny is like growing up in Mexico. I grew up in Mexico City. I went to elementary school in Mexico City, so Mexico City, like your average person in Mexico City, doesn't really drink a lot of beer. Like
Mhm.
Mexico City area, that center and southern part of Mexico, for every one beer they drink in the northern part of Mexico, they drink almost 2 beers. It's like 1.9 to 1 ratio.
Mm.
So like in the north, they're all beer people. I mean, they drink everything, but they're more beer than south. In the south, your average drink is going to be people who think tequila, but tequila until after the 90s was not a big drink in
Mhm.
Mexico. Rum and whiskey are the number 1 and 2 drinks. Rum
Wow.
because it's cheaper, and it's very common. Rum and Coke, everything,
Mhm.
and then whiskey and soda is like un highball or whiskey soda is like
Mhm.
is what people drink, and they're not single malt whiskeys. They're usually blended whiskeys that they drink, like Johnny Walker and Chivas and
Yeah.
those. So that's what people would drink. The beer was kind of a special thing. My grandfather would have like these dark beers for winter, and my grandfather liked to drink a lot of different things, but not be drunk. He was kind of like, when you walk, you drink. So when you were a little kid, you were drinking just like the adults, and he had little shot glasses that were full of acrylic to about 90%, and he'd top it off with a little sherry on top, and he'd have a tray, and he'd come to you as a little kid, and he'd be like, "Oh, you want a little drink?" And you grab it, and he'd like give it to you, and you think you were getting a whole shot, but you were just getting the very top layer.
Wow.
But you were the same as everybody else.
Yeah.
Because his theory was like he wanted everybody to be social and know how to drink, but he didn't want anybody to be a drunk. He said the worst thing at a social event is some drunk dude that's not behaving.
Yeah.
And so it didn't matter. I mean, I never saw my uncles drink, you know, like that. Maybe I saw one go off a little bit, but he got it. He
Mhm.
never did again. Why? Because we all knew how to drink. We all knew that, you know, you're representing the family and yourself. And it's like, and if you know you can control yourself, it's just so much better, right?
Yeah.
Everything in moderation.
Yeah.
So when I moved to Mazatlan, it was a shock because in Mazatlan, people don't drink alcohol as much as beer. It's beer city.
Mm.
And you go to a party and there would be like no spirits. It would be like Pacifico y nada más.
Yeah.
Like literally Pacifico y nada.
Yeah.
And there's no other beers. It's just
Yeah, it's
Pacifico.
Pacifico right there.
And so, which by the way is my
brewed
favorite.
right
It's
there,
my
right?
It's my
favorite
favorite,
beer.
he
Yeah,
says.
it's
Best
like,
pilsner in the world.
you know, because I grew up there. Like it was like, shoot, Pacifico y nada más.
Mhm.
And so I kind of, you know, you go to a party and that's all they got to drink. You're not gonna be like, no. I'm like, hey, it's free or whatever.
Yeah.
We would just drink Pacifico, and I just got used to the taste of beer. But I really didn't like. I wouldn't have brewed Pacifico because lagers are hard to brew and everything. And so I was traveling a lot, working. I used to work out in New York City, and they had me traveling. And I went to Beijing, to China. I mean, I didn't get to travel a ton, but that year I
Mhm.
got to travel a lot. I went to 2000. I went to Beijing before Beijing wasn't all that, because
Right.
the pre-Olympics, Beijing was a little quieter and like there
Mhm.
wasn't much there. So I'm there, and there's like 3 blocks where they have all the expat restaurants. So all the, you know, expats, straight foreigners hang out there. And we went to this little bar. They used to have this one called what was it called? Shooters.
Mm.
But it was just like a Hooters. Like
Oh, wow.
literally
Just
the
like-
the logo was Hooters with an S.
Wow.
And then you walk in and the girls had the same tank tops, but it said Shooters, and they were all Chinese. And it was funny as hell. It was
Interesting,
it was
yeah.
just so funny.
as
I'm like,
hell, this
it was
guy.
like it was like a parallel universe Hooters, you know?
Yeah.
And then we went
Crazy.
to this little bar. I can't remember what it's called, but we walk in and there was nobody there, and there was this Belgian dude, like this white-haired Belgian guy, going like, hey, and like, we see you got Belgian beers. And he's like, yeah. He's like, I'm the only guy that has Hugarden this side of Moscow. And we're like, well, what's Hugarden? And he's like, you
Yeah.
have never had Hugarden? What the hell? So he starts like putting, I mean, we're the only ones in the bar, and he just starts putting down Belgian beers, and we're in China.
Wow.
And I'm like, I'd had Shimai before, which I really like, but I hadn't had these others. And so we just started getting a master class, you know. And I really fell in love with this Hugarden, which is a Belgian wit, which is pretty common now here in the States.
Mhm.
But at the time in 2000, you couldn't even find it in the States. Like, it was really hard to find until they got bought out by another distributor, and then they moved it to the States.
Mhm.
Okay.
Long story short, I'm like, I could get behind these beers, because a lot of the beers, some of them are light, but most of them are kind of like an 8% beer. So, kind of where you have one beer and you don't have to be pounding it and you don't get bloated.
Mhm.
And I felt like, it was more like and they had like stronger flavors. So I kind of fell in love with that, and I was like, yeah. So then, 4 years later, we moved to San Diego. Actually, we moved here in 2003. So 3 years later, moved to San Diego, and we're living here in Vista, our first house. And one day I'm talking to my neighbor, and I'm like, hey, what's that equipment there? And he's like, oh, that's for making beer. He's like, I've been making beer for 10 years. I'm like, really? I've never seen you make beer. I mean, I've known you for a year. Like, what the hell? He's like, oh, well, I haven't, we moved here into the house and I haven't really made any beer. I was like, well, let's make a beer. Like, how hard is it? I'm like, all the beers that I've had from homebrewers taste like crap. I said another word, but, they taste like crap, And he's like, no, we can make a good beer, like a good brown. I'm like, well, can you make a Belgian beer? He's like, I don't even drink Belgian beers, but we'll try one. So we made a brown ale. It came out really good. Then we tried to make a Belgian beer. It came out really good. And then I got hooked. And then he said, well, I don't have time to make beer, but you want to borrow my equipment? So I had free equipment and extra time, no kids. And I started making beer. And every week I'd make a different beer. And every other week I make the same beer, Tonantzin, the golden Belgian ale we have.
Yeah.
That was the first. And I made that beer in the first year when I started brewing. I probably made it like 15 times.
Wow.
Like every other week, I tried to until I had it. And I said, this is it. I locked it in. Said, here's the recipe. Boom.
Wow.
And that got me hooked. And then we used to make beers, and they used to have these parties that people in the beer industry here in North County were, and a friend of mine had parties in San Marcos, and people that are musicians come and play the guitar and whatever. And then other people would bring beers, and there was homebrewers that were famous, brewers that were famous from different breweries, from Lost Abbey to Pizza Port and Stone. And people would bring beers, and they'd be like, oh, who made this one? This one's really good. And so I started bringing my beers, and somebody says, well, why don't you do an expo on like, hey, so now when somebody brings beers, like, oh, I brought this one, Esperanza, and I made like, oh, cool, And then you get feedback, and you get feedback from guys that were actually brewing
in the industry.
And so I started thinking, wow, I really like this. This is cool atmosphere. And some years later, I mean, it took us too long, really. I should have started sooner.
Mm-hmm.
But my neighbor and I were in Mexico, in Guadalupe, and we met this guy who owned a winery there. And he said, why don't you guys like put a brewery here? And we're like, really? It's like, oh, we should put it in the States, but there's so many over there already. And so in 2009, 2010, we started a brewery, and late 2010, probably started putting it together in Valle Guadalupe. And we were the first real brewery in Valle Guadalupe, like licensed and everything.
Yeah.
We were there for a couple of years, and it did well, but it was hard to work there. It wasn't like now. Like now, Guadalupe is full of people, but you still gotta have money. I mean, it's people with money that like, if they lose their business, they're still fine.
Yeah, yeah.
And more power to you there. But we moved it up here. We were gonna move to TJ, and that wasn't gonna work because TJ does have a lot of really good brewers and employees. And so we said, no, let's move up here. I was gonna change the name. But people were like, well, what are you going to call it? Like Deju Brewing or something? It's like, keep it Guadalupe. And so I thought, well, let's keep it Guadalupe. And when we found the place in Vista, we built that place to look like Valle Guadalupe. Like if you were in a place in Valle Guadalupe, because that's what it reminds of, the whole start of it. So that was it. That's the story of why we started making beer.
Man. Yeah, that's a very cultured upbringing right there.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's cultured, but it's just
you guys were ahead of your time, because now there's breweries all over the place.
Oh yeah,
out there too. I maybe a couple years ago, it's got to be probably a while now, But I went to Rosarito and they have breweries everywhere
Yeah.
now and stuff like that. And
It's the
people love it.
thing. Yeah. And, you know, and people, it's gotten to the point because you have the United States, the equipment. And I mean, some of those places over there, like they're just garage brewing, but but still they're doing it, you know? And
Yeah.
so they're hustling to make like, I say I'm small. They're like, you know, they're home brewer selling it, but that's part of the thing. And the thing is, it's kind of like breweries are like, unfortunately, they're like restaurants, right? So there's always new restaurants popping up. But there's always people. Some people like this kind of food. Some people like that kind of food. Some people are gonna enjoy this beer, and some people are gonna be like, "That beer tastes like crap," you know.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty. You just got to find the one you like, because beer is no longer just a Budweiser. It's, you know, it's an IPA. Oh, now it's not even an IPA. Now it's a hazy IPA. Now it's a New England style IPA. Now it's a West Coast. So there's just so many variants. And then you throw the factor that we sell stuff to make beer, right? So we have a homebrew shop. So then you have the person that like they could buy any beer, and you know, right? You can go to Bevmo or any of these places and buy hundreds of different beers, but still they will go and make their own beer. Why? Because some people still want to make their own burger, even though there's good burgers out there. And it's just they can do that tweak, and it's kind of that feeling of making your own thing. So it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, that's super interesting, man. And still, you know, you're always helping us out. Now you're helping, you know, the whole world out. You know, if you guys are interested in getting into the brewing, man, go see Raul and Carlsbad.
Carlsbad Brew Supply.
And they'll get you started, man.
We'll get you going.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, no, I like I like every single thing that you said, bro. Because I mean, I saw the boom in 05, you know, how it kind of really changed out here in the West Coast, but also saw it down in Baja. I think it was like 2013 when stuff really started changing over there. Yeah, where was your guys' brewery located down in the Valle?
It was over in Francisco Zarco, which is also known as Guadalupe. It's like where if you're on the 3 going and you pass like the Museum of Wine, and then you go over the bridge. There's only one bridge that goes over the dry river. As you go over the bridge, that's Francisco Zarco, the one with the Pemex. There's only one gas station. And then you would have seen Domecq or El Acheto. That would have been over there. So that's the main town. And there's only one church in town, one Catholic church. And right next to the Catholic church, there was the entrance to the winery where we were at. We had the owner there built a building that we used to put the brewery, and then we built all the equipment and everything. And it was called Rancho Malagon, Viñedos Malagon. Really nice guy, great wine. And we were there for a while, but he didn't want to move the stuff up north, so we dissolved the company, you know, and it was just hard to find people that wanted to brew there so we could produce more, because we were selling everything and it was sold out.
Okay.
We used to sell. Do you ever go to Finca Altozano?
I don't think I have, honestly.
Really? You gotta go. It's like one of the best places to eat in Valle Guadalupe. I don't know where you ate at Valle, but that place is bomb. It's a famous chef called Javier Plasencia, and he's super nice guy, makes killer food.
Wow. Well, maybe Kicker Labs can take a little trip.
Hey, go south of the border.
Hell yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, I like to go to Ensenada because the beer scene over there, it's different, dude. I mean, TJ's got like its own thing going, but the quality beer comes from Ensenada, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, man.
Ouch.
Yeah, I mean, I know all these different brewers. I know people that are moving into TJ.
It's an opinion.
But in my opinion, bro, I think Ensenada has better beer than TJ.
Really?
Yeah.
What's your favorite beer in Ensenada?
I started off with Aguamala, but then I moved on to
Nathaniel is a buddy of mine. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Then it was Wendland. Wendland is definitely up there.
Eugenio Romero is the owner from Wendland. He's a buddy of mine. He is the bomb. He went to school up here in San Diego. Nathaniel, I think his mother-in-law lives in Carlsbad. He owns Aguamala, and he won an award at GABF. He's, you know, I think Aguamala and Wendland are the two best in Ensenada, if not two of the best in Northern Baja. But the beer scene in TJ is where it's at, really. I mean, there's just so much good beer in TJ. You can walk. You can go on Revolucion and walk between the different breweries, and they're not going to be on the strip. There's some like one on top of an old, 6-story building where there was like a strip joint.
You can go underground. There's
another one in the neighborhood right there.
It's not as shady as it was, man. It's not as shady as it was. Like Revolucion is like, I remember when I came up here in 89 and stuff, and it was like nothing but like military and 50-cent beers. Like, I mean, even I was coming from Mazatlan and I was like, who sells 50-cent Dos Equis lagers? Like, that is insane. Like, that is so cheap. Like,
Yeah.
that's like crazy. It was 1989. It was like, what the hell?
Damn.
Nobody should sell. And now it's like, you know, and then you just have the shady, weird places.
Mhm.
You wouldn't catch me dead there. But nowadays is nice, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
they got really good food, high end food. Border Psycho's really good.
Definitely my favorites in TJ, along with Insurgentes. Mamu, it's a little bit hidden, but that's a really solid spot too.
Yeah. Well, the one I recommend is a buddy of mine, and I think it's called 96, or it's a number. It's like the year he was born. It's like 92 or 96.
Mhm.
And the guy who started it, he is the old brewer at Mamut.
Oh, wow.
shit.
And he that one's really good. It's right off the strip, a couple blocks, and that's the one you want to go. That's up and coming. They've been getting all kinds of awards in the last couple of years. They kill it, and he's really young dude that's dedicated to it. So,
Damn.
and he learned how to brew under a friend of mine, where I used to sell my beer, called La Embajada, and so yeah, he's a good dude.
That's crazy, bro. You're super connected in the beer industry, man.
Yeah, man.
I know a lot of people. That means I'm connected. I mean, I'm connected, but I don't use my connections. I
Yeah.
just kind of,
Sometimes
was
that's
in
the best
there
way.
and just I know a lot of people, and they're all good people. Well, I mean, the ones I've talked about, they're all good
Yeah.
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 I try to. I don't like talking bad about anybody. I'm not going to say anything about
Yeah,
bad
yeah.
people.
But,
So.
but people be people, bro. That's
Yeah.
all you gotta say.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we all move with love, and
Yeah.
and that's I think the best way.
I think if you don't got something good to say, just don't say it. Like,
Yeah.
and just like move on, and we'll like keep on going our way.
Speaking about challenges, what can you say has been one of the challenges of like managing your brewery, and what it comes down to like
I
the
mean,
rest-
managing a brewery, just like managing any business, it's just something else, right? Because you have the passion to do the craft of making this and making that. That's easy, because if you have the passion, you're going to want to do something excellent. But the business side of it is hard, and that's why, I do part of that, but I have a partner that does that, my wife, and she, definitely gets in the weeds on that, and that's really hard. And it's hard because we started in this industry kind of late, and it's different when you're bankrolling your own little brewery versus you're playing with other people's money, or you have a
Right.
lot of extra money to be able to push that out. And it's like anything. You can have the best food in the world, the best beer in the world, but if somebody doesn't go and buy it, you're not going to make any money. You're going to last, right?
Mhm.
So there's just a lot of aspects. And I think us here in San Diego, there's a lot of people appreciate really good beer, but there's also a lot of people that they just want to drink it and go out and party and have fun. And
Mhm.
there's nothing wrong with that. That's the whole point, right?
Yeah.
And so capturing those folks that might not appreciate your beer because you put all that passion in it, but they just want to drink a good beer, which there's plenty of, in a nice place and have
Mhm.
some fun. And maybe they want to listen to live music.
Mhm.
Maybe they don't want to listen to it. Maybe they want to bring their dog. Maybe
Or
they
watch
want
the game or
maybe
something.
they want to watch the
Right.
game. Maybe they want to have, a live rap right in their face. Like we've done it in the past. We've been doing podcasts there. And they're like, yeah, this rocks,
Yeah.
And so there's like different strokes for different folks.
Mhm.
And that's kind of the beauty of it, but it's trying to find that niche and constantly pivoting. And I think you get kind of one way, and now we're trying to pivot because the economy is not helping. You're going to see a lot of breweries and other restaurants kind of fold right now. And even us, we're looking at it and like, it's hard, bro.
Yeah.
I mean,
100%.
I appreciate all the support. We got our regulars and stuff, but it's hard, and you just got to look to pivot. And if it doesn't work, you keep trying. And if you pivot, you got to pivot hard. Well, then you pivot hard. If
So-
you got to close the place down for a little bit or relaunch or do something,
Mhm.
you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's a shame in it at all. But you just got to keep looking and do what's best for the business. And
Mhm.
that's the hard part. It's like to say, like, I'm having fun, but then I got to do this. I make this hard decision because, I also just can't give it away for free.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
I don't know how it works for you guys. Like, if you've been involved in those, but like, in the music scene, or like, oh,
Mhm.
we could do this, but we can't afford it right now. We can do this, it's like,
Yeah. all the time, man. At all the breweries that we've gone to and done stuff there, they all have different ways of doing business.
And I do want to give a special shout out to you and big thank you for that time when we held the fundraiser going on for JT Active.
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
That
yeah.
moment of
Yes,
time.
sir. Yes, sir.
wanna
Well,
get
I
that on
mean,
the
that
record.
JTAC, that was a tragic thing. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, everybody knows, and I think we'd just seen him like a week or two
Mhm.
before. And so it was like when that happened, and I was like, can we do a fun? I'm like, of course.
Yeah.
Like one, are we going to do 1, 2 fundraisers? Like,
Mhm. Yeah.
you know,
You're always awesome with that stuff.
that
You just
type of
open the
stuff.
doors and be like, yeah, bro,
Let's
go
figure it
ahead.
out.
Honestly, yeah, I can't thank you enough, bro.
Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and we got some comments here on the Instagram. Shout out to everybody watching there. Uh we got 95_Heli watching us. Shout out to Cali Blunts,
Shout out.
Shout out
Cali
Cali Blunts.
Blunts.
#1 sponsor right there. Shout out to the Bougie Company. Petey Gaines out here watching.
Yo, shout out.
And shout out to our other sponsor, Natalie's Fashion.
Shout out to Natalie.
Natalie
Hey.
Fashion. She said, "Hi guys, hola Raul."
Hola, Natalie.
And then Michael Gabriel here watching. Shout out to Curb Check. And Michael Gabriel said, "The coconut beer, man. I salute you."
Yeah, we got it here. We got the Cocoa Blonde coming
Look at
up.
that. We'll save you. We'll save you one. We'll save
Yeah.
you one can, man.
Yeah,
But,
that's his favorite.
that's his
And
favorite.
we do got a YouTube comment as well.
Yep. And shout out to Ern V from Elevated, man. He said, "What up? What up, primo?"
What up, guy?
Yeah, man. Sometimes the best part about this is like a lot of people on Mondays they are dead tired after a long weekend. But the beautiful part about this is they can always go back. They can
Yep.
always go back and watch it, listen to it on all streaming platforms and everything. So everybody out there watching, man, please go subscribe to the YouTube. We're really close from being monetized on there. Once we hit the monetization, man, it's gonna be a great time, man.
Yeah, game changer right there. And don't forget, we're here with Raul from Guadalupe Brewery, holding down, kicking it on this Monday. episode.
How far are we from the? How far are you
50?
guys? 50
50 or something.
50 subscribers.
Yeah.
That's all we need.
What?
Yeah,
Go
something like
subscribe
that.
right now,
Dude,
man. Go subscribe right now.
I mean, I'll make sure that tomorrow we're like blasting out there. I've been like,
There you go.
hit that
Yeah.
button, hit that
Hell
button.
yeah.
There you go.
That's right, man. That's support right there, man. Nothing but love right there. But Louis, how you doing back there, man? Shout out to Louis. He is producer of the night right there. Piccolo's working on shirts as always. But that's what it is, man. You gotta stay grinding. California is not cheap to live in, and everything is not cheap to purchase, man. I like to go out to eat. I like to go out and have some great beers, and it works out because Raul, he's always has his doors wide open. Come on in. It always feels fresh in there. You got the air conditioning going, and you have amazing beer tenders.
We are lucky to have some, really good class beer tenders. We got Rudy, who's been around and works in the industry for
Shout out.
for us for like 4 years. But we have some other. I mean, Rudy's the only male beer tender there. He's like, and then we have our female beer tenders, Roxana, who's new. She's really good. Knows her stuff. Really friendly. We got Summer Rose. Summer is she just had her 30th birthday party
Yeah,
at the place, and she wanted to work, so she was beer tending with
that's the best. way
with
to
her
do it.
happy birthday hat on
Nice.
and everything. And we have Amber also, who's a really good beer tender.
Yeah, shout out to all
So
of them, man.
we got it going on
Yeah.
there. But we've had over the years some fun people there.
That's right. That's right.
But yeah, we got a patio in the back, live music. Tomorrow on Tuesday, we're gonna have our open mic session. So we'll have like 30 musicians there playing
There you go.
till 10 o'clock. Open window. It'll be fun. They'll play
Yeah.
anything from jazz to blues, a lot of blues and R&B at the end. They'll go jam sessions, like
Nice.
12-minute R&B songs. They'll start with like Parliament Funkadelic, and
Yep.
end up, with like California Love, rapping Tupac style. So it goes crazy. It's a lot
Yeah.
of fun.
And that's gonna be tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow from 6 to 10.
6 to 10. There you go.
Yep.
Musicians, everybody just want to hear music, live music. Go out there, man. Have some fantastic beer and enjoy yourself. So we're cracking some beers here. We got. Why don't you tell them a little bit about this beer?
This one is El Vainillo. So the two beers that this one was one of the first beers we had in Valle de Guadalupe. And then the other one was Tonantzin. I didn't bring the Tonantzin. Sorry.
That's okay.
We have that one at the tap house. We normally don't can that one.
Yeah.
But this one is canned. It's El Vainilla. Let's yeah, good thing you clear the palate on those.
Yeah.
Oh, let's go.
Here, just pour as much as you want. I'm not gonna pour it because
Sweet, thank you.
that way don't feel like
Yeah.
we just canned this one the other day. It's freshly brewed. Might be a little bit hoppier than usual, but it's supposed to be a beer that's easy drinking, kind of copper colored, super light with a touch of vanilla, a nice head.
My guy poured the whole.
Dude, you got to do it. Somebody has to take one for the team, and that's why Lenz is always there. He's, you know, I don't know about you guys, but I've never seen Lenz mad. And I don't want to see him mad because people that are always happy the day they're mad, it's like a nuclear bomb, I think.
Yeah.
But I've never seen in all these years,
Really?
I've never seen Lenz.
Have you
mad.
guys
He's usually, I mean, if he's not, he's like tweaked a little, like he's irked, but he's never like, you know, he's usually like pretty like, whatever, like, you know, but he's always happy, dude. This guy smiles even on bad days, dude.
Yeah.
It's like I'm like, you left your bag here, and it's like, it's okay. I'll get it tomorrow. It's like, life is good. Like,
you know,
nobody died.
You have to enjoy your life, man. You know.
No, I mean, dude, more power to you. I mean, we all have different, you know, profiles in life, and I think you gotta let the good times roll.
You know, I've worked in the hospitality industry a lot, and you know, you have to put out your energy. You have to put out that good energy, and that good energy comes back to you.
I guess the only thing I'm going to say against the beer is that I should have put more ice in the cooler. It's not super cold, so for you, but it's tasty.
That shit was fantastic.
Yeah. So,
and you know what? I'm not against warm beer. You know, sometimes
I mean, it's not warm, but it's not like ice cold. But
it's not warm. But I have drank in warm beers.
Yeah, the flavors when they come out a little bit better when it's warm. You get more of the vanilla.
Right. No, it's fantastic.
But it's not a sweet beer by any chance. It's beer first and then a touch of vanilla. People like it. It's for the non-IPA guy.
Yep. I'm just gonna steal this. We're gonna save this for Michael.
No, we got another one for Michael. Ooh. We got Michael. We'll pop one of those. And in fact,
pop one of those.
Yeah. And if not, I'll get you guys more.
There you go. And I just want to give another big shout out to Lisa. Shout out to Lisa, man. She is on the grind. She anything that I need. Bro, just tell Lisa she's the engine behind the I just make the beer and she runs the ship, you know. So she's the captain and I'm kind of like the number two. Big shout out to the head five right there.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, and shout out to everybody tuning in, everybody listening. If you've made it this far into the episode, much appreciated. Don't forget to hit us up on the Apple Podcast, on the Spotify, YouTube, whichever it may be, man. We're right here at Guadalupe doing a nice little tasting.
Yeah.
Please hit the subscribe button so we can get over the 50. Like, I want to see these guys next level.
Yeah.
Don't forget
big time.
all my local 760 residents as well. Hit a Guadalupe Brewery.
Of course. And if you can't make it to the brewery tomorrow, at least hit them up on the IG and make sure to follow Raul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We normally do a live stream on IG of at least a good hour of the live music when they're jamming, they're going, boom. Except I don't know, have you guys on IG? They used to have this filter that was like a fire one, and it would turn like if you were playing, it would turn you like into a fireman, like you were on fire. It was the bomb. Except they don't have it anymore. I can't find it. Like they move their filters. They move their filters, but on live you can only get through so many filters because they don't give you access. And they don't have it. It was the best filter. The dude would be on guitar, and then you hit the fire filter, and he'd be like the Human Torch. And
I got to see that.
Yeah,
Instagram, man.
I don't know what they did. Bring back the fire filter.
Yeah, we'll send this out to Instagram. They'll get that. They'll get the memo. Raul needs it.
I need it. I need it now. I did bring one. We'll have you guys make sure we don't not have it. There's a 2-year in a barrel, 14% stout. It was in a barrel for 2 years, bro.
2 years.
Yeah, in a whiskey barrel. And it's like 14.5%. So it's like drinking a shot of whiskey, size wise. Like,
Yeah.
We're tasting that tonight too.
oh yeah, we're tasting this.
Okay,
Well,
yes.
That's what I'm saying. Make
God
sure I
damn.
don't forget to open it.
God fucking
Oh,
damn
we'll
it.
crack it. We'll crack it.
No,
Bros,
dude.
you're missing out today, bro.
I know.
No,
I've been missing out on this whole adventure.
Hey man, I salute people that don't drink.
dude, if you get off the wagon later or whatever, like, you come over and we'll top up for you.
Oh, so I said we'll have a party.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's all about in moderation, dude. You gotta
Yeah.
enjoy it. Like, and if you don't drink, I'm happy to. We got plenty of people that come in, don't drink.
Yeah.
We got sodas and stuff.
Mhm.
We have looked at we have like we were gonna get this 0% like beer, right? There's like it's gotta be it's not non-alcoholic, it's like 0, so I could get it. And then the new thing that we're doing is we haven't gotten them yet, but we're getting them. It's like non-alcoholic cocktails, believe it or not.
Mm.
It's like the next thing. So let's say you're on a dry,
Interesting.
you're off the wagon, or you don't drink at all. No, wait, is it on the wagon? No,
wagon.
you're on the wagon. I don't know because
like,
I've
you
never
have
been.
to-
I'm sorry, I'm bad because I've never been on the wagon.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you're
Actually,
on
that's
the
what
wagon.
that's what he told me too when I told him that.
It's true
So-
because like I walked in the other day because I always take my breaks throughout the year. I try to go a few months on, a few months off. Just for the gut belly.
Yeah.
I'm not as blessed as Bruce, man. My man Skinny.
Oh yeah.
I eat a cheeseburger and my ass is shaking for a week.
My ass is shaking for me.
But yeah. So we actually have a very special thing going on this weekend at Guadalupe. Did you know about it?
Which one?
This Sunday, man, August 6th, the return of Birria Sundays at Guadalupe.
Birria Sundays
go.
from El Mendez Birreria.
Yeah, Birria Mendez, man. Shout out to
Yeah.
them. They're really, really really good people and really great friends with us. They've been in there grinding, They were with us shooting in the gym,
They've
They're
been hustling.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. So make sure you guys come back. It was always a big thing. Like I worked at Guadalupe for a little bit, and those were my favorite days to work. The Sundays and they
Sundays,
had the birria there.
micheladas with ice and
Yep.
norteñas in the back
Mhm.
and birria just in the
Yeah.
patio. We're gonna have that. And
Yep.
hopefully it's not. We want to make sure that hopefully the day is not too hot, but not too cold. We like it sunny.
Yeah.
Birria, get that. Have a party on Saturday somewhere else.
Yeah.
And then come over on Sunday with La Cruda and
Yeah.
get some.
100%.
Dude, you got birria ramen. They got these egg rolls now that are
man.
legitimate.
Yeah.
Like they are so
Yeah.
good.
Big time. So make sure you guys come out. Brewery opens at 11 on Sunday.
Yep.
And we'll be there till the end, till they close, which is probably going to be around 7:00.
Yep, 11 to 7-ish, depending on.
Ish,
We'll see.
If you guys are coming
It
out.
depends.
If you guys are coming out and the beers
Unless
are
he
pouring,
runs out of birria, I don't know.
Yeah.
But there were times when they first started. It's like,
Yeah.
boom. Oh, it's 5:00. Ran out. 4:00. Ran out.
Sold out.
And then the next week, I'm like, dude, you better bring more beer. He's like, I brought twice as much birria, and we sold out at 3 p.m.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm gonna bring twice as much next, and then he'd bring in twice as much,
Yeah.
and he'd sell out again.
Yeah.
It was crazy for a while. I mean,
Yeah.
this is years ago. This is like
it was
3-4 years ago.
my favorite times were always birria Sundays because you don't just get just like the regulars in there. You get families after church. They come in. They want to eat something fantastic. The dads or the moms they want to have a couple beers, some micheladas or something. So that was always my favorite time because you get a diverse crowd and everybody's in there just having a great time eating food. I'm a big foodie too, so definitely go out there this Sunday. Guadalupe Brewery. We're gonna be there, and I'll be spending all day. And we got a couple of how should I say this? Surprises. We got some surprises, some musical surprises that we're
Musical
gonna do.
surprises.
You give me the keys to unlock sound there. We're gonna bring some fantastic surprises,
Very
man,
cool,
and
very
have some
cool.
cool stuff there. So make sure you guys don't miss it. Guadalupe Brewery. You want to give them the address?
631 South Santa Fe, over in beautiful downtown Vista, Paseo Santa Fe, kind of over there between the House Skate Shop. Shout out to the house.
Shout out to the house.
And then there's a vacuum shop that everybody knows about because like how many vacuum shops exist in North
Right.
County? 2.
Yeah, 2 only, huh?
Yeah, and they're both brothers. One brother owns the one in Vista. The other dude is the guy in San Marcos. They're both brothers,
Hey, that's
and
how
they're
you do it, man.
Mexican. So like
Hey, support.
they come over and like in a blue moon, they don't drink too much, but they come over and they're like, I have one beer, and they're not twins, but they look, and one guy owns one guy's not. It's pretty funny.
Wow.
One of them for sure got dressed up like Luigi.
Like Luigi.
I don't
Oh
know.
man. Well, Raul, besides beer, besides the supply shop, what do you like to do for fun? What do you do when you're not brewing, when you're not at the brewery?
Mm.
What's
I
your
don't
favorite
really
pastimes?
have. I don't have a. I mean, my favorite pastime is working. I mean, if
Yeah.
I was rich,
Yeah.
you know, I think you always have like, if money was no object, what would
Mhm.
you do for the rest of your life? I
Right.
think really that's the question you should ask anybody, right? Because
Mhm.
like one thing is what you like to do with the time you have right now, but if you didn't have to worry about making money and supporting your family, what
Mhm.
would you do? And to me, I would be a documentary filmmaker. I think making film is the funnest thing, but it's just so expensive. I mean,
Wow.
people that make film and documentaries and stuff like that, it's not a money making business.
Yeah.
So people that do that, props. I mean, I have friends that do that have won awards, and I've seen how they live, and they don't live that great. If it's
Yeah.
not and they're usually solo dudes. They don't have families because they can't.
Yeah. 100%.
But they love what they do, and they do it. And I would love to do that and expose all kinds of
Mhm.
things that I don't think people have exposure to, from just cultural things to just little niche things that I've seen in the world that people don't have. I always have like really cool stories. So that would be what I would do. People always think it would be beer making more beer, but no, I love making beer and I love cooking. I love doing that, but documentary filmmaking would be the stuff.
Yeah. And that's interesting. You say that because people love a good documentary.
Yeah.
People love some of my favorite things to watch when I either want background music or background sound or something just while you're doing stuff. You can have something you like looking over the documentaries, just learning how it could be like on a person, on a business, or how things work. I love watching all kinds of stuff like that. So
dude, it's
let's do it.
Sometimes you just come across the weirdest, and I'm not talking weird, not like weird, like oh my god,
Yeah.
cannibalism or something,
Right.
Or
but
it's like the other.
but it's like I remember I was a kid and I was watching some of these HBO documentaries, and they were doing them. They were kind of human rights oriented, but it was still tripping me out. I remember seeing one about camel jockeys. And it was how they have camel races in Saudi Arabia and some of the other Middle Eastern Arabian countries.
Yeah.
And maybe I shouldn't say Arabian. I don't know if that's a term, but like
the Amenities or
no, like the UAE
Emirates.
Emirates and the Saudi Arabia. They're different. There's different countries, right? It's not just Saudi Arabia, but they have camel races, and so they would have. These camels can go fast.
Wow.
And and so they're following them in the Range Rover and they're betting on them. I mean, it's cool. It's cool. It's by itself. You're like, okay, what's wrong with this? There's nothing wrong with it, right?
Okay.
Well, the thing is, they got to have a jockey, so they would hire or buy like from Bangladesh little kids that would be the jockey on it. And okay, in all fairness, they were buying the kid from Bangladesh. From some family, the kid was going to grow up super poor, and his family got some money and gave him up into slavery.
Wow.
Technically, and so they're like living with these like rich, Arabian families, and they're housed there like in the servants' quarter, but they're little and they don't want them to eat too much because it's like the weight factor.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, dude, you see these kids and like they're all like a bobblehead, and they just put their helmet on, grabbing onto the camel for dear life. And bouncing, and sometimes they fall, and that can't be good. So the whole thing was like the abuse of the kids, right? And they're buying them and all that. Well, years later, Pat, I mean, this I remember this documentary, like this is early 80s, like 82 or something. Like I remember it vividly. And I said, wow, that is so. I mean, if it was in a document, you think I ever would have learned about that? It wouldn't be in a magazine or anything, like So nowadays they don't have that. They don't have, because of that documentary. It took a long time by the way. But
Mhm.
then they came up, they said, well, do we really need a kid on the thing? So somebody made like a robot, but it's
Oh,
like
wow.
it's like the most ghetto robot. It's like if it was made, it's like if it was made by people in my home country. And it was like a little thing with like two drills, like two cordless drills in like zip ties that go like this. And so when they had a remote control on it, so they could turn it up and it would just like whip the camel, pop, 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 and it was about the same size. And so they said, hey, why get these kids from Bangladesh and like put people in indentured servitude,
Yeah.
indentured servitude.
There you go. Big word.
That's a hard one. Sorry.
Yeah.
And so they do this. So hey, some good came out of that. But yeah, who knew there was like camel races where rich people are like betting on?
Yeah.
There's always something. I mean, I'm sure there's worse things. I mean, there's
Yeah.
really bad things that
Yeah.
we need to like keep showing people. But
Yeah.
now with the internet, I just don't know if like documentaries, like how do you trust anything?
Right.
Because you go on YouTube and you can find a bazillion, like now anybody, right? The documentary is anybody with one of these.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So do you trust it? Do you not? I think that's why there's still a place for I think even now, even in a cooler way, would be how to make social media documentaries. Like have trusted sources and say like, you're going to look into this in that city and we're all in the same country. So maybe we'll have the same issues. And then just, I want your footage and then send the footage over, and then have a curator that can validate the facts and make sure you're not, and then have that kind of social media documentary where it's coming from a true source and not just like, oh, I saw that one on WhatsApp, me la pasaron on WhatsApp, and then some guy's like, ese ya lo vi hace 4 años, ya no mames, yeah, so it's like they're passing around, remaking something viral that's 5 years old and it was fake and it was staged, and you don't have that. And so now it's kind of dangerous. It's like, who do you trust? Like sometimes you see it like, is that for real?
Yeah.
Like, oh, there's like bazillion UFO, clips now. Everybody's got a freaking UFO clip.
Just like the Las Vegas one, right? The most recent Las Vegas one where
what, the one with the orb that's really there?
I think it was somebody, I don't know.
Where they crashed in their backyard.
Was it the space
No,
X?
it was the police cam one. Somebody had the police cam there. And they're like, "Hey guys, do you guys see that? Like, they're in a neighborhood patrolling, and the people are like, they look up like, oh shit, what is that? And it landed in somebody's backyard. It was fake. It was fake.
Yeah.
But I saw all these videos of the alien. He's a reptilian. He's hiding behind the bushes and stuff. Like,
but while it's fake, they just made like 2 million views, right?
Yeah,
it's like we're just looking for 50 subscribers here.
Come on,
50. This is real. We're for real. Should we? Maybe he's an alien. Maybe we don't know. We can check for a zipper.
Yeah,
if he's a pod.
Men in Black style.
Yeah,
my dad called me an alien once. I thought it was just tripping balls that day for some reason. I felt offended.
Did you put something in his cereal?
Right? Damn.
Nothing but bananas and sugar.
Where you're like, Dad, did you eat those mints that I left here?
Oh, I know.
It was a whole different time up there.
That is right, man. Well, do you guys want to go ahead and take a quick 5-minute break? And then we'll get back in here and then we'll
let's
crack
get
this.
Let's get the good stuff.
Yeah,
Yes,
I'm with
sir.
that. Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Louis, you good with that?
Yeah, we'll keep proceeding with the alien talk and the
Yeah.
viral stuff. I mean, you can't trust the internet unless you're kicking it with us.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
We're a reliable source.
We are a
For
reliable
sure.
source.
Reliable.
We only speak truth.
And sometimes give
sometimes you don't want to hear those truths. But, we will tell you. We will tell you what it is. But all right, man. Do we have some sponsors to shout out?
I don't know about sponsors, but definitely a lot of shout outs. And of course, starting with Raul right here from Guadalupe.
Hey,
thank you, guys.
Man. This is the interview today, straight kicking it. But like I said, we do got shout outs, man. So of course, shout out the Draft Sports Bar, best sports bar in Oceanside with presumably the best wings. Who knows? We still haven't had that battle yet. But check
Tom, we need your wings for the battle. I need to be here.
Yeah. Well, Tom came over and he was like, "Let's do it. I'll put these wings up on anybody."
Yeah. So hopefully
I'll be a judge.
That'd be perfect.
Yeah, shout out to Street Knowledge as well. Shout out to Natalie's Fashion, who was tuning in earlier. Shout out to Callie Blunts, who was actually tuning in earlier as well. Shout out to Urban Water, of course, supplying the hydration, not just in the city of Oceanside, but all throughout, man. So if you happen to see an Urban Water somewhere out there, make sure to grab it. Stay hydrated.
100%.
Yeah, shout out to Old School Saturdays
Yep.
Shout out to Full Metal Burgers. And shout out to y'all, man, for kicking it with us. We'll be right back with the second half. So stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. This is the Kick It Podcast.
Big shout out to City Life.
City life.
And I'm back for the first time. Fuck you, listen to mine, come take a ride. Open the trunk, let the Alpines bump through the night. California roll through the stop sign and keeping eyes. And I'm back for the first time. Fuck you, listen to mine, come take a ride. Open the trunk, let the Alpines bump through the night. California roll through the stop sign and keeping eyes. Yeah, hello, good morning. The record barely afford it. Be get pissed when I wake up. This so life is so fucking pointless. Spirit annoyance, usage appointed. Feel the rigor mortis, the shortage. Digital avoidance, give a coordinates. The brain goes in the morning, flip your portion. Try to make a fortune, fuck off. I'm trying to get my thoughts sorted, my life in order. Fuck the government supporter. Penny for your thoughts, I give you a quarter. The conduct of disorder, disordered all over. The kamikaze, rewind time. Talk to me wrong, get bombed 7 times like Machiavelli the Don. I read the Bible and the Quran and plenty of times I'm at war with myself. Bring a piece to my mental, we're working on my health. I hear the voices in my head. Will I live to tell? Who knows? Heaven to hell. Oh, everyone don't get burned trying to make the funds. In this life you only live once, it's cold, so go live in the rush. And I'm back for the first time. Fuck you, listen to mine, come take a ride. Open the trunk, let the Alpines bump through the night. California roll through the stop sign and keeping eyes. And I'm back for the first time. Fuck you, listen to mine, come take a ride. Open the trunk, let the Alpines bump through the night. California roll through the stop sign and keeping eyes. And I'm back for the first time. Fuck you, listen to rhymes that could just ease your mind through the night and day. In a merciless maze of telepath tragic hate, persistent take all late. Just to say, contemplate the brain, contaminate, commentate, trying to contain whatever can be done. The thoughts just outrun everyone on the constant, just chalking designers. Fuck it, logical nonsense, stop it, the sonics reclining while driving, cruising late and I will begging homage, reading, gaining knowledge. If you coming at me with some bullshit, you can stop it. Just a thought, use your process. Open the blinds to teach the cautious. Just be cautious how the brain reacts. Emotionally detached from everything. If you trying to stop me from getting cash, get the fuck up out my way. Yeah, let it ride out. Yeah, let it ride out. Let the Alpines bump throughout the night. Come take a ride. Yeah, come take a ride. Come take a ride. Yeah, what? Let the Alpines bump throughout the night. California roll through the stop sign to keep it nice. Let the Alpines bump throughout the night. California roll through the stop sign to keep it nice. Yeah, what? Let the Alpines bump throughout the night. Come take a ride.
It's been a long day, yeah. Had to take the thing the long way, yeah. Make them hits like a bone tape, yeah. Be with her, then she gon' say, yeah. Got a like, oh, summertime. Day goes, some high, some low, sunshine, but she's so cool. Oh, summertime. Day goes, some high, some low, sunshine, but she's so cool. Take a chance, spin the body, make a dance, feel the body. We go down, she go down while we riding. Take a chance, spin the body, make a dance, feel the body. We go down, she go down while we riding. Look how she dancing, she ready, no lie. Look how she dancing, she ready, no tie. Look how day goes. Some high, some low. Sunshine, but she's so cold. Summertime, day goes. Some high, some low. Sunshine, but she's so cold. So tell me what it is, motherfucker. How it came from the sticks, motherfucker. Where some people still live, motherfucker. And they ain't trying to change shit, motherfucker. Still I'm like, oh, summertime, day goes. Some high, some low. Sunshine, but she's so cold. Oh, summertime, day goes. Some high, some low. Sunshine, but she's so cold, so cold.
North County, we're here. The living dead. Outside lands. Yeah. Two words, San Diego, we able to eat at the same table. Yesterday's fable is today's reality. Welcome to what I call the hip-hop academy of cool, calm calamity. Two words, hip-hop, no chain, wristwatch, no range, marijuana, cocaine, website domains, anonymous, no name, no face, just brain. Learn to play the fucking game. I'm saying two words, old side, lenses, gente, gon' live for the moment. Step out with the homies. It's a takeover, SD makeover, no layover. We already here. Two words, gun control, don't patrol no more. I defend my own and everybody I know. Streets stay hot, try me not. Raised in this game, so everybody move. Two words, drug use, El Chapo, old news. But the drugs are still used, malabuse, you lose. It's an epidemic, methamphetamines, grandmama's open it. Whole world smoking things. Two words, North County, Oceanside, I'm alive. Hip hop till I die. Write rhymes every night. Cypher's gon' bring the light. Lightweight, Miller Lite. Yes, I'm down to fight. About to soar like a kite.
On the long road, shadows only friend. I done had foes, and then came and went. I done had hoes, ain't no thing is 10. Not scared to go, scared not to live, so I'm facing them. Dealing with my demons and it's one-on-one. They know why I'm weakest, but I never run. Heart is on my sleeve, wear it like a gun. Even if I leave, I know where I'm from.
Doing good will make your heart hurt. I turn my crazy into artwork. And sometimes I go backwards, but I still light it up. I'm smoking evergreen, sipping Tennessee for my energy. I know what I do to find my inner peace. With my enemies staring back at me, I'm saying fuck you too.
Dealing with my demons and it's one-on-one. They know why I'm weakest, but I never run. Heart is on my sleeve, wear it like a gun. Even if I leave, I know where I'm from. Talking to my demons daily. They my friends, does that make me crazy? I'm just jogging, I ain't in the race. You gon' hate me if you have to chase me. That is not a lie. Some bring out the Michael Lemmy, that's another guy. I like to face the evil just to look it in the eye. And turn off all the lights to show the darkness I'm alive. On the long road, shadows only friend. I done had foes, and then came and went. I done had hoes, ain't no thing is 10. Not scared to go, scared not to live, so I'm facing them. Dealing with my demons and it's one-on-one. They know why I'm weakest, but I never run. Heart is on my sleeve, wear it like a gun. Even if I leave, I know where I'm from. Dealing with my demons and it's one-on-one. They know why I'm weakest, but I never run. Heart is on my sleeve, wear it like a gun. Even if I leave, I know where I'm from.
Yep, just like that. We are back from break, guys. Thank you, everybody, for holding on through the messages. We are still here. We're Raul from Guadalupe Brewery. So we're still kicking it for the rest of the night, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So where did we leave off? We left off with like the internet and then like a couple of
Documentaries, and then how
We talking-
people fake stuff.
Yeah.
And a whole lot of alien stuff. Do you believe in aliens?
I mean,
He was like, I don't know what to believe anymore.
it's like,
Right.
I mean, do I believe we got aliens around us? Like one of us is an alien? No, but I mean, to me, it seems like there's got to be something out there. Like,
Yeah.
you know, why they're not hanging out with us, I don't know. They're missing out.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's
imagine having a beer with an alien. You know,
That'd be sick.
That'd be
Imagine their kind of beer.
maybe they got better beer that I don't know about. You know,
Raul gets
it's like,
some more new
Yeah.
ingredients and stuff.
making beer with an alien.
Yeah. That'd be crazy.
But yeah, I don't know.
yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I'll be there, but I mean, I'm a techie, so
Mhm.
I would love to see any
Their
high tech
technology.
stuff. And
yeah. That'd be
See
crazy.
it
You just
goes.
push a button, tell it what you want in the beer, and it just comes out. Hey,
yeah.
easy money.
I mean, I watch all kinds of like space shows. I like good
Yeah.
shows there.
Yeah. Like there's got to be something out there because there's so many galaxies. There's so many, they keep
100%.
finding new stuff. So there's got to be something out there. There's probably a Raul, instead of making beer, he's making whiskeys.
You're thinking about
You
like
know,
all these
I think they don't want to
species.
hang out with us. You know, they know
Yeah.
we're here, but they're like, I want to hang out with those guys.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
Yeah.
we're not cool enough.
My
We're
favorite
not
part.
cool.
My favorite part, speaking of like of broadcasting and music and stuff like that, the sound waves. You know, these are real sound waves that's going out into the universe, and those never stop traveling. They never stop traveling. So one podcast, when you guys started this podcast here, that sound wave is traveling the universe right now and just hitting different galaxies, and it's never gonna stop. So it's probably somebody randomly in a different galaxy like, what the fuck is this?
No, it will stop, Lens, because the universe actually does have an end.
Does it have an end?
Yes, but then that's when you go into like the multi-universe shit, because then there's multiple different parallels and outcomes. So, I mean, there is an end to like what we perceive as the universe, but then there's multiple universes.
Interesting. I've been liking the like the Marvel movies, how they've been incorporating the multiverses and stuff.
And talk
That's pretty
about
cool.
that, you got to bring up parallel universes.
Yeah, parallel universes. Who knows?
It's a different type of time travel.
Yeah.
It's like multiple or single. Like, can you go back and like just kill it, like butterfly effect?
Yeah.
Butterfly effect
don't
was
think
such
so.
a trip.
I think it's a good theory that we could go theoretically go back in time and try to alternate our future outcome, but it doesn't happen. Just like future Trunks in Dragon Ball Z, like you never go back into your own timeline.
Yep.
Oh, now we got Dragon Ball Z. We got
Yeah.
anime.
These guys
Throwing
doing
us
some
up.
big anime
Oh
stuff,
no!
man. You see the Dragon Ball Z
no.
right there thing?
I didn't see it, but now I did. Now
Yeah.
it's going.
Yeah.
that way.
That was just an example.
Yeah. Like what about what do they call those? The Mandela effect?
Oh, like the Monopoly guy. I see where you're
Okay.
going. Okay.
Right? So like say McDonald's is logo, right? But in a somehow, some way, like I don't know, what's one that's
What do you mean, like a Bizarro world? Like
Yeah.
in Superman, like the Bizarro world, everything's backwards or upside down.
Yeah.
Kind
Or
of.
like
I think what he means is
the
like
Ford logo.
yeah, like the Mandela effect is like something that has been changed slowly over time, and then you kind of rethink the way that product is. Like for example, when I brought up the Monopoly guy, they said that he used to have a monocle when he first came out, and now over the years they changed him up so slowly that now his monocle is gone, and people can't seem to remember if he did have a monocle or not because they don't have the photographic.
Well, he got LASIK.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
it's
the
like we
answer
all.
I've heard right
That's
there.
why he got LASIK. It's a.
Yeah.
I know my mom said when she got LASIK, it was like the best, 5-10 grand or whatever she spent. She's like, I don't have to wear glasses.
Yeah.
She hasn't worn glasses for like 20 years. She's been the happiest ever.
Wow. I always thought about getting LASIK, but then I wouldn't be O-side lens,
You'd be you'd be O-side intraocular lens.
Yeah, exactly.
That's worth it. That's worth it when you
Alright.
get the laugh through the wall.
Yeah. On that one, man. Let's go ahead and let's crack some things right
alright,
here.
let's
Yeah,
go.
we're-
Get it going.
There we go. There we go. Shout out to everybody still tuned in right here, man. It's Monday night.
Hit subscribe.
Yeah, hit subscribe, man.
We're
Follow
gonna
us.
before the week's over. We're gonna get 50.
Hey, let's go. Let's
Come
go.
on, let's get
And
this.
going. shout out to Summer at Guadalupe Brewery because
Summer's my girl.
she's been putting the podcast on one of the TV screens.
Oh yeah.
Shout out Summer.
Yeah.
Summer's
Thank
a
you.
dope person.
So maybe if for future sponsorship stuff, maybe Guadalupe can have a TV designated for the podcast just running all
We
all
could
the time,
do that. Maybe if you come over and tell me what
Yeah.
link or send me the link.
Yeah.
I know which one. I'm
We'll
messing with
figure
you,
it
but-
out. We'll figure it out.
But we can put up. I mean,
Yeah.
we've had you guys podcast there
Yeah.
live.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And people
I think
love
once we get the video stuff in place and the sound system. I mean, the sound system's already there.
Yeah.
But you guys should come and do one at least a couple times a year, but with a musical act, so you guys can
Yeah.
be podcasting.
Mm-hmm.
Then Lens can just and then he busts out into like a
Yeah.
song. That'd be sick.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Definitely, man. And we've tried different things. We've definitely tried different things when we do podcasting. And musical acts is always one that's just so natural to us to bring on, and it works. It works.
But let's do it like this is going to be in a parallel universe. Like
This is gonna be a parallel universe.
what I'm saying is like you're going to do it there, but it's not going to be like your regular like now here we got Oside Lens.
Right.
It's going to be like Michael Gabriel walks through the door and it's like, what the hell, dude? You left this, and what are you talking? And then you guys get into a battle.
Hey.
Boom. We
That's
pick
right.
up the handheld, and now you're rapping.
Wow.
That's what
There
we
you
need.
go.
Something like
There you
that.
go.
Somebody's like standing on top of the bar. Like, well, we got a drone coming in.
Damn. Yeah, you do have the garage door right there too.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
or the
We
roller,
did it. We did it at one of the big City Life or one of the big cruises.
Yeah.
Somebody, I thought it was a friend of yours, that did drone footage.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he flew the thing
They flew it
through
inside.
from the back door, in through, and then out the garage door and then back.
Yeah.
It was sick.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out to all the videographers out there.
Shout out.
Shout out.
It's the culture, man. All this stuff doesn't get to where it is without it being documented. So
This beer is tasting right now super good.
Yeah.
Not just because I made it, but
right.
it's not. No, I mean seriously, it's not.
is, though.
It's the right weather.
Mhm.
It's not super cold, but the coconut's really nice,
Yeah,
refreshing.
it tastes different than the first one, slightly.
What do you mean? You
like
haven't had the first
vanilla
one?
one.
Oh wait, we just changed up,
Yeah, dude, that's why it
coconut
tastes different.
beer.
You haven't.
dude. I
This
don't
is
even know what I
this
was
is the
drinking.
coconut.
Oh, we were drinking a Vainillo.
Yeah, I mean sometimes
Yes.
people
See, and I'm
mix
not a big
those.
Vainillo guy. I'm not a big Vainillo guy. My favorite beer at Guadalupe Brewery is the Hook.
The Hooked.
Oh,
He
the
likes
Hooked.
IPA. Yeah.
That's my guy. But Vainillo, people love it, and the coconut,
The
people
coconut,
love it,
people
man.
love
Pretty
it.
good.
Yeah,
You-
I've
yeah.
had people come in to the brewery and they look in the fridge. It's like, hey man, when is he gonna have the coconut? I'm gonna leave my number right here. You call me, I'll pick up a whole bunch of cans. You know,
Yeah,
that's the
people,
best.
People like some don't drink any beer and they just want that one. And we'll have couples come in like for a growler, and they come in right after work, get a growler of that. Then they go and see the sunset like every
Mhm.
other night, and they're like, Rudy or somebody will be like, oh yeah, they see the person parking, they're like, okay, he's getting
Let me
ready,
get ready. Yeah,
getting ready for Coco Blonde.
Yeah.
So
You know, I could see why Michael Gabriel likes this beer so much.
Yeah.
It's super
it's smooth,
tasty.
Fantastic.
it's smooth, tasty.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
it reminds me of like that Mexican like treats, dude. That have like the
Las cocadas, yeah, those
yeah,
the
like
coconut
coconut
macaroons,
shit.
coconut
Yeah.
macaroons. I think that would be in English. I don't know,
Yeah.
cocadas in Spanish. But my buddy, so I went to high school with some of these. Their last name is Juarez,
Mhm.
and their family, their dad and their uncle, they were the founders of Senor Fox.
Oh, nice.
So super nice folks, everybody, I mean, we're friends still to this day. And my buddy Alex, he went to one of the best art schools in the country, if not the world, RISD. So Art Center Pasadena is one of the best art schools, which is here on the West Coast in
Mhm.
Pasadena. And then RISD, which is Rhode Island Institute of Rhode Island Institute something design, RISD. So School of Design, Rhode Island School of Design. And so it's a badass school, and he's a graphic designer. Went to high school together. I didn't know he was going to RISD. He finished RISD, and when I was living in New York, somehow my buddy goes like, "Hey, have you said hi to Alex?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's living in Manhattan. I'm like, "Oh shoot!" And it's like we hook up, and then we reconnected, and then when I moved to San Diego, like 2 years later, he moved to San Diego. And I'm like, bro, and he's a designer, and he does this on the side because he runs a business and stuff nowadays. But he designed all these things. So they're kind of like Mexican, this is beer that's made by Mexicans, and the labels are also made by Mexicans.
That's right.
And so my buddy is from Mazatlan. And so all the background on these labels, I don't know if you see El Vainillo and other ones. This is like an old abuelita, mercado bag design. The little plastic bags that you take. That kind of design, that kind of two-tone. Except these are kind of brown or orange, so you don't see them. The other ones are more vibrant. And then he took a look. I said, I want a dude like if it was the Castaway guy, the ball, but instead of a ball of coconut, but put a blonde wig on him. And so it's a coconut with he's I made a surfer dude coconut with a blonde wig on it. And he just does some cool stuff. The Pata Salada has the coolest label. I haven't launched it yet, the label, but the label's coming out. It's going to be sick.
Nice.
And it's like, we went off script. We didn't go like traditional, like boot, something like that. And he made, because Pata Salada, I don't know if you guys know, but it means in English salty foot. But in Mazatlan, that's what people are called, Pata Saladas. Like people from Mazatlan are Pata Saladas. People from Culiacan are culichis.
Right.
People from,
Guadalajara,
Jalisquillos or whatever. They kind of have different names. So Pata Salada is the name of the beer, and it's just a lager, kind of a really light Pacifico. I wouldn't call it a Pacifico. Pacifico's a little bit different, a little more intense. But the label is just got a lot of little characters. Like, you guys ever read Mad Magazine when you were kids? Not really.
No.
Kind of died.
I
think
actually
it
used
did.
to watch the show when it was on. TV.
Oh, Mad TV.
Yeah,
Oh my
there you go.
God, I'm so old.
I'm
I'm so old, bro. When I was little in the 70s and 80s, you read Mad Magazine. 70s, right? Not 80s.
Yeah.
80s, I was, going into high school. But Mad Magazine used to have, and even the books, they used to have this illustrator who's famous, Sergio Aragones. And in between the pages, like in little parts, there
Mhm.
would be little caricatures, like little things, like a dude hanging on a ladder, or a full. You could look it up, and it'd be like a full little comic strip, but in between. So it was never the same. Like, you'd be reading the magazine, and they're like, "Oh, there's like an Easter egg kind of deal,
Wow.
not hidden in the stuff, but like on the
Just on
side
the
in the
side of
blank space."
Yeah.
And then he even had his own books, and that guy Sergio Aragones. So it's like the label is like a whole thing of things that you would have in Mazatlan, like
Yeah.
a guy playing a tambora, a shrimp, a monument, a los monos bichis, and all kinds of little things, all put together, this huge collage that kind of blends in to these colors, and it just says pata salada on it. And so it's kind of
There you
cool.
go.
It's different, different from the regular kind of label we normally do. So
Yeah.
we'll see. I like it. I like it a lot.
There you go. I love it, man. Shout out to everybody still watching right here. We got Raul from Guadalupe Brewery here, and looks like we're getting cracking right here.
Got the last
Yeah, the
bottle
reason we're gonna
popped.
crack it is don't pound that yet.
Yeah.
Here's why I'm saying it. I don't know if you can. Well, it's kind of two things. Well, do we?
Is it like wine where you have to air it out?
No. Well, this is a 2 year, so it should not be mixed. But I wanted you to maybe drink everything you got there, and then right after you're done drinking it, I'll give you like a sip of this to kind of rinse it, and you'll get like this with a little coconut, and it'll be like a coconut stout.
Nice.
Oh, I like.
I don't want to mix it, but I just want you to get, because this thing is going to be really intense. So that'll give you like that coconut stout. It'll be kind of soft.
Yeah.
It won't be so intense. Then when we have this by itself, you're going to enjoy it. And this is actually better warm, because all the flavors of the barrel, it's been there for 2 years. We took a handful of vanilla beans like this, pushed it into the bunghole, and let it sit for another year. So at year one, we took a couple of the barrels, bottled up, and then we left the other barrels for another year, but we put vanilla beans in it. So it's very whiskey intense, vanilla, 14.5%. If you want to think like this beer is only like 5.5%, this is 14.5%. It's almost 3 times the alcohol.
Yeah.
Would it be kind of close to like barley wine almost?
Yeah. Barley wines are normally 12 plus, so they can go 15, 16. We make a wheat wine that's 17% alcohol, and that one drinks like a cocktail.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
Is that this one's Necessariana? Which one is that one?
That one I've never released. It's only been for homies only.
Yeah, I think I've
it's actually called my grandmother's old fashioned, because my grandmother used to like old fashioned cocktails. And when I was a kid, I was the bartender of the family. Like at 6, I learned how to make all the drinks for everybody. So when they were playing bridge, well, they didn't play bridge, canasta. They played canasta in my family, canasta or any card game. They'd be like, "Raul, make a drink for this lady, make a drink for and then or for the uncles, like rum and cokes, whatever they want." I was like bartender.
Yeah.
So my grandmother would drink old fashioned, which is like you just muddle some sugar with some bitters, and then you just muddle it up. Then you pour like a couple shots of whiskey, and then you do mineral water and a cherry on top, and ice cubes. So it's like the classic cocktail. So it's kind of whiskey, sweet, maraschino cherry, bitters, and that's kind of what that beer I made tastes like. We'll have to have that one day.
Yeah. That'd be
maybe
nice.
when Tom brings the wings and I'm a judge or something.
Yeah.
Come on, Tom, give me those wings.
That's right.
Hey, but don't forget, man, go check out Guadalupe Brewery out in the city of Vista for the tap room every single day when they're open.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. But we
Yeah.
do
What
have
day?
some-
What days are you guys closed right now?
We are closed right now on Mondays only. Sometimes Mondays and Tuesdays, but the best thing is to just go to Google Maps. Like Google Maps, we swear by Google Maps hours because you can change them immediately. Like something happens, there's an emergency, like beer tender's got to go to the hospital and we can't cover something. We were have to
Mhm.
call. We'll just go on Google Maps immediately and like change it. Like, oh no, not open today or
Yeah.
this. Like it's instant. Other services, their websites or stuff, especially on those type of systems, they take a while or they got to get approved. Like Apple Maps used to like, it's waiting for approval. It's like, okay, bro, but we're closed, so I need to change this. You got the
Yeah.
wrong hours. But I don't think they do that anymore. They used to. It was a pain in the butt or Yelp.
Yeah.
So the only one we trust is Google Maps. You go there, it's always accurate. Even though sometimes Google, it'll be like, well, today's Martin Luther King Day. They might not be open. It's like, well, who said? Why are you thinking? Just because it's a holiday? Just because it's a holiday?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's like if I said we're open, we're going to be open. But they, so don't assume just if we're telling you that. We keep that. We're religious about it. We want to make sure our clients know. And that is a trusted source, at least of ours.
There you go. Google
Just
Maps,
like
man.
Kick It Labs, how do we
Yes,
know we're
sir.
on?
Yeah.
Well, you got to
exactly.
you got to subscribe. Hit the
Yeah.
damn button.
Hit the damn button, man.
Hit the damn button. We need you. You'll be on the ground floor if
Yeah.
you're in the last 50.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
You'll
and
be
right.
in there.
speaking about the ground floor, we do have some comments going in
Let's
through
go.
the Facebook, through the YouTube, and I'm pretty sure through IG too. For everybody who's
Mhm.
tuning on IG, hey, much appreciated.
All right, what we got, Louis? Valeria, she said the fourth kind is freaky AF.
Oh, that's a good
The
movie.
fourth kind,
a
yeah,
good movie.
that's a good
Yeah.
movie.
I will say, don't watch that 65 movie with the guy that was in Star Wars.
Oh,
That was 65 minutes of my life I'll never get back. Like, it was really bad. It was. Let me tell you. It's just like the movie I Am Legend.
oh yeah.
It's basically as bad as that, but
On the worst level.
but with a white guy. It works. Yeah. I mean, it's like it's bad. It's like, don't seriously, like, you'll be disappointed. And if you're not disappointed, IM me and tell me what I missed, because it was not good. And I'm a huge movie buff. I love movies, and
There you
I
go.
think every movie has a redeeming quality. I really
Right.
think, because there's so many people involved in making a movie. It's like, how could you guys make something so? You must have thought it was good somehow.
yeah,
But then, man, especially lately, dude, I think
100%. I felt the same.
I see some good actors lately in some crappy movies.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I think it's like there's just so much content money out there, and they're like, oh yeah, I'll do that. I gotta
Yeah.
keep
As
working.
long as the
And it's like,
the money is
before they
backing.
wouldn't take crappy movies,
Yeah,
And now it's like before, if you were a really good actor, you wouldn't ever do a commercial in the States, right?
Mhm.
Now it's like, no, just give me the money. Show me the money.
yeah.
So everyone's
I'm in.
busting out a Nicolas Cage.
I don't know, man. I mean, hey,
That
Nick,
man
Yeah,
was
Nicolas
anything.
Cage. He did know that well.
Nick Cage has bills to pay,
Yeah.
But okay, in all fairness to Nick Cage, you know what you're getting.
Yeah.
If he's in a movie and it's going to be campy, and he's going to be a campy actor, you're getting that.
Yeah.
But you can't have like Robert De Niro
Mhm.
in some movie that's like really crappy. Like, that just change. Like, normally if I would have said, "Oh, De Niro's in it," I'm watching it. I'm going to watch it. Don't tell me what it's about. I'm going to watch it because I know I like the dude.
Yeah.
But nowadays, I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to watch it. But I still will, because I'm an idiot. Because like I said, I believe every movie has some redeeming quality. But lately, there's just a lot of bad content.
Yeah. And it's very watered down now. Like,
Yeah, it's watered down. It's
Very watered down.
simplistic. It's so predictable. You're watching it and you're like, man,
yeah.
what a waste. Like, you guys could have gone this direction, that direction. But every now and then, I think, I really feel that the movies, I think, are really bad quality. I think there's better series out there than
Mhm.
movies.
Yeah.
There's not, that doesn't mean all series are good.
Right.
There's some really crappy ones.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, there's just, think of it this way. How many movies right now would you go and pay $20 to see? And let's not say $20. Let's say $40, because if you do popcorn, sodas, candy bar and the movie, it's $40 at least.
For
You
one
didn't
person.
drink beer. You didn't go to
Yeah.
Sinopolis and have a $12 Modern Times, which
Yeah.
I've done. You know, that's fine.
Yeah.
But you know, so you $40-$50. What movie are you gonna go watch? I
Yeah.
mean, you
Yeah,
definitely not movie 65, dude. Do not say, you know, you
Goes
would
back right to
there
the
were-
main message.
Yeah, Valeria, sorry.
Yeah.
yeah, no.
And that goes to her comment. She said, "Have you seen the movie 65?"
Yeah, yeah.
We just,
yeah, but I mean, you know, like what did they have lately? They had the Flash. They had the Barbie movie where people are raving about. They said that
Yeah.
one's good. They got
man,
Indiana Jones.
there was so much pink in that movie that there was a pink shortage in the world, man.
Yeah, that is crazy. That's great. There's a pink paint shortage.
Yeah.
So I think they just like
There's a pink paint
They
shortage?
probably
yeah.
fabricated that and
It-
just to promote the movie or something. But
I would
who
think
knows,
so,
man?
bro. I mean, all it takes is just white and red. You can't go out of red. That's a primary color.
I don't make colors, man. I don't know.
You know what I'm saying?
maybe it's that specific pink.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe.
You know,
True.
there's like there's a color in there's a Mexican color, a Mexican pink. It's called Rosa Mexicano. And it's that like, you know what I'm talking about. It's
Yeah,
like
the
neon,
super
I think I
light.
know what you're
kind
talking
of
about.
bright ass pink,
Yeah.
traditional to Mexico. That's
You think like some of that right there from that thing right there?
um
No,
No.
not really.
maybe yeah, like in these.
Yeah.
There's
like
kind of in the middle.
bottom,
It's
yeah.
kind of in the middle. You know, it's like if you saw like Frida Kahlo or a traditional like
Mhm.
Oaxacan or
right.
Southern, you know, they have different dresses, and some of when they got pink, that is straight up Rosa Mexicano.
There it is.
You know.
There it is.
I mean, there's houses painted with that color. It's hardcore. We don't mess around in Mexico.
Vic, you want to
There
take
you
this
go.
comment right here?
Yeah, dude, I was actually reading it from Valeria, and it's quite an interesting one, dude. So, all right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and read it. It says, the other night I had a dream a bird was trying to fly away with my son. As long as it wasn't an owl, all good.
Hmm.
I,
You know what?
I don't know
Yeah,
what to make of
fair
that,
enough.
but
I'm wondering
Yeah.
because if it was an owl, he was going to go to Hogwarts or what? I mean,
Maybe
why the owl thing?
some
Like
superstitions.
oh, maybe the owl. But I would think owls are nice. No,
I don't know. Growing up, you know, there was a superstition out there where it's like if you see like just like the black cat thing, you know, you don't want to see a black cat. You don't want to see a white owl, all white owl.
Well,
at
I mean,
night. Like, I don't know.
there is a saying in Mexico. We say that, you know, cuando el tecolote canta, el indio muere. When the tecolote is Nahuatl, you know, Mexican for owl.
Yeah.
When the owl sings, the Indian dies. So yeah, that's. But he's not singing. He's taking the kid away. So maybe he's gonna take him out. You know, it's like.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want my kid being taken away by anything, right?
100%.
But I'm just thinking, you know.
there you
I
go.
think
Well,
that's
Why an
probably-
owl? Like I think like a crow, like you know, or something like that. But
That's
hey.
probably what she was relating it to, like how you said
Yeah.
about the tecolote. Because I've heard that like if an owl like stands above your home and starts singing, that means that someone's gonna pass pretty soon.
Oh.
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, I think you know the owl thing. I mean, it is in Mexican culture, but I don't, except for that saying, I don't really remember a lot of the stuff. But I usually think the owl in most cultures is a cool guy. You know, like
Yeah.
he's. I think in like Scottish and Celtic stuff, he's like a, you know, a keeper of the. Yeah, he's like a.
Like a
Like,
god or something.
Yeah. So I don't know. I always think
Yeah.
like the raven or those guys are the.
Yeah.
Kinda, they're super smart birds and they're not that.
Yeah.
That nice.
Yeah.
They're picking at
how
your
they,
eyes.
That's crazy how they remember stuff like they're.
Oh, there's a gang of them out here in front of the
Yeah.
studio, bro. They meet up once a month.
They
Yeah, like
do.
I see them all the time, bro. Like
yeah.
they bring the whole city. They're like, yo, what did you see on the east side of Oceanside? Oh, what's
Yeah,
going
they're
on?
crazy.
on
I
the
think they
south?
I think
Oh.
they had their meeting today because I saw like
Dude,
a
I'm
like
I
not
saw
kidding.
murder
I
crows
saw like at
outside.
least 100 crows out
We
there.
now know. She just said that the owl is in the fourth kind. See, I have not seen that movie.
Oh, that's
So
right.
now
that's right.
I am gonna just because of
you
her.
haven't seen it?
No, I. Is it a scary movie or is it an
Oh,
alien
it's
movie?
suspenseful,
It's
yeah.
like a suspense
scary.
documentary style.
Is it
kinda.
on a streaming service or is it out there?
Just talk to your
Oh,
control.
it's everywhere now.
Yeah,
it's
just
a
talk
Okay.
to
dope
your
movie.
control, and
Oh,
it'll tell you everywhere.
I'll
it's
find
at.
it. I'll find it. I'll
The
find
fourth
it.
kind. I mean, I watched it. I thought it was pretty cool. I thought it was a good movie. But supposedly because they have actual real footage of what happened and stuff. Like
Oh,
it's like it's not a documentary, but what do you call those things that
Mockumentary, maybe.
like
I don't know.
they have like real time footage and it's like they're showing you what happened.
Yeah.
in the
I don't know
movie
what's
style.
called,
I don't know, but check it out.
There's a
check
word
it out.
for that, but
There's
I'm
a
not
word
sure
for
of
that,
that.
but I'm so tired, so I don't know.
All right, so-
I'm
so
going
the
to go
owl
watch it. I'm going to
is
go
from
watch it.
fourth kind. All right, we got that.
There
Okay,
we
well,
go.
what other comments we got? I see we got like 2 more over here. All right, so we got Luis Mardujano saying, "Is Guadalupe ever going to have small food items to be snacked on?"
That is a really good question. So
There we go.
we got a couple things. One, we normally got chips there, which they're just bag of chips, Doritos and like different chips.
The
Usually
flavors
spicy.
of the,
Yeah. No. Dinamita and tapatio chips and all that.
Mhm.
That's not a small. Besides that, we usually have like bags of Los Reyes chips and salsas and guacamole. But one of the things is 2 doors down, we now have Birreria Mendez. And so because they're open 6 days a week and they're going to be open 7 days a week now, or maybe they're going to switch from Monday to
I think he just made
I
an
think he's
announcement
gonna
today. He's closing Mondays now.
yeah, so he's going to close Mondays, be open on Sundays. You could just buy all kinds of food there and even small bits. So you could say like, hey, he sells like these crazy nachos Mi Vida Loca. So you can get some nachos, you can get we might be selling some of his salsas and
go.
chips.
There you go.
We're in talks about that. He wants to do it in some of his Birria Mendes walk.
Very nice.
So you'll be able to get small food items or his egg rolls. Like I said, the egg rolls are the bomb.
Fantastic.
So those are the things we're trying to support him and have the freshest possible stuff. But small food items like snacky chips and all that, we will keep on having those. We used to do more stuff. I think we used to do empanadas and stuff. One of the things we're going to start doing now is we're going to have, besides having Mendes there all the time, we're going to have every now and then, like every couple of weeks, try to get like a different food truck, something that's really not traditional. Like we always had, tacos or something that plays with Mendes, but is not competing the same thing. Like there's no point in getting a taco truck. Unless it's like, oh, we're doing Korean style tacos or something really, So the idea will be like we've had people that make pambazos or Mexico City style quesadillas, or we had a lady that has a truck that does Nayarit style seafood. So she makes like this type of shrimp ceviche that's different, like how they make it in Nayarit and all kinds of stuff. So we're trying to support that and then unusual stuff, like other fusion stuff. And
one of my favorite times, it was very, very early when I started learning about you guys. You guys would make pizzas.
Yeah, during the pandemia, we couldn't open if we
fantastic.
didn't have food. So we had to make our own pizzas, and we made our own empanadas too. Well, we buy this Argentinian empanada. We buy these Argentinian empanadas, and we heat them up because we have this is just for your rinse.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
you'll get more. Just rinse it off this way so you get a little bit of coconut stout.
Yeah, I don't think I heard you on that one.
No, that's good. He did it.
All right.
He done it right. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
But it's
But
great.
yeah, that was some of my favorite because you guys got down on some pizzas, man.
Yeah, dude. Oh,
And then you guys
I'm
also
sure you got
still
down on
had,
pizzas too.
actually haven't. Well, I mean, I eat them, but
That's what I'm saying. You ate them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Pizza.
No,
Pizza's my favorite food.
It is. I
Yeah.
mean, it's who doesn't like a good pizza?
Yeah.
That's why it's tough being like when I lived in New York. I mean, even the crappiest pizza was good.
Yeah.
You
can't go wrong.
In New York, where I lived, down the street from my apartment, there was a place, and there was 2 pizza places next to each other, and the doors were literally a foot apart.
That's funny.
And I always went like, what the hell? And they would have a large pizza for like $8, dude,
Wow.
of New York pie. And I was like, what's wrong with this? So one day I go, obviously, had a buddy of mine who's like my cousin, but he's like Mexican primos, we're all cousins.
Yeah.
And he's from that area. This is actually in New Jersey, in Hoboken. And I go, bro, what's up with that place? Like, who opens up a pizza place next to it? He's like, well, here's this. It was one place, and the dad died, and he gave the brothers the thing, and they didn't want to partake. So they said, screw you. So they cut the business in half, and they both have a pizza place, and they just have the doors like literally right, and like you go steps, and there's 2 pizza places. It's the weirdest but stupid, but I don't know. It's
Hey, but you never
and,
know.
and their
like,
pizza's both about the same. So I'm like, well, I'm gonna go this one day, this one the other day. It's so
I
weird.
think it goes down to like which one's more packed. This one's packed. They got a line, but this one you
Yeah.
get your pizza right now.
Yeah, right now I don't know, but it's just the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
You know, New York, you can't. And the thing about pizza places in New York and stuff, some of those places look like a hellhole, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You can go into some places that you're like, I don't know how this is passing the health code.
Yeah.
Because like the linoleum is not like all there and
Yeah.
stuff, but their pizza's bomb.
Yeah.
Dude.
I know, and that's the thing. With places, I never try to judge what everything looks
As long
like.
as it's clean.
Yeah. You have to be. You know.
Yeah,
And-
you know. Well, if you're busy, you know, you're busy and shit. It's like, God damn. But try to keep up with the whole like cleanliness of things.
I don't want to see Pizza Rat hanging out.
Yeah. No.
Oh, this
no.
pizza's so good. Pizza Rat likes it. You know, it's
Yeah.
like,
Pizza
Oh.
rat. New York has a big problem, right, with rats right now.
Oh no, New York. What are
It's
you
always
talking
had-
about?
it's always
New
had-
York's always had-
been there.
No, but see, rats in New York, like it's okay, dude. I mean, in the subway, when you're in the subway and you're like waiting for the train to come, you see I mean, you don't see like 20 rats hanging out in the,
Right.
but you might see one, and they're hard to see because they're covered in like this dust from the train, so like they kind of meld in because they're all covered in dust. But you see one, you're like, he's in the subway. It's okay. I'm not going down there.
Yeah.
Stay there. The thing is, people understand, if you lived in New York or you've been there, they don't have trash bins.
Mm.
So people, because trash bins take up too much space, so there's no trash bins for the trash. So trash has to be you just put it in a black plastic bag, and they do require them to be, they're supposed to be like of a certain quality,
Mm-hmm.
but they just get mounted on the street on the corner. So when it's trash day, after a certain hour, you can. So imagine it's this hot. It's actually hotter in New York,
Mm-hmm.
and then you got that food there, and it just starts. Boom. And so the rats, it's like, to them, it's like they're like, oh, today's Tuesday. I'm gonna go to the corner of 8th and 52nd, and it's I got a buffet there. You know, oh, they're
Yeah.
kosher, so there's gonna be some corned beef and some rye, and it's like, and it's like, you know, it's heaven for them, and they just pop out at night. They don't disturb anybody. They just burrow into the plastic, chomp through it, and they get their buffet, and they go right back into the sewer drains.
Interesting.
But the thing is, if it gets too much and they start going out to houses, then that's when you got to control them. You're
Yeah.
not going to control them there unless you pick up the trash faster.
Yeah.
And they already know. But to me, keep them in the sewer, you're good.
Yeah.
I lived there from 98 to 2003, and I love New York City. I mean, it's a great place to live, great place to really see all kinds of stuff that you never, different cultures,
Mm-hmm.
you know, super nice people. People always say that, like, oh, New Yorkers are rough, or it's like, no, they're just to the point. They don't want to waste time. It's like, oh, you want this? Boom. You know, and I think it's so weird. Like, you could be walking around there a little lost somewhere, and they're like, hey, you need help, son? Like, but they're just to the point. And you just say, yeah or no. You need help? What do you need? You know, it's like, but they're gonna be like, hey, you know, no, it's
Yeah.
like, boom. It's like,
Yeah.
I've
No
had,
small talk.
I was, you know, heading home, and one day, and one guy in a suit, he's like, he goes, hey, you like basketball? I'm like, yeah, like, you know, I like the, you know, basketball. He's like, well, I got 2 tickets to the Knicks. You want them? I'm like, for free? He's like, yeah, I can't go. Here, have them. The guy gave me 2
Wow.
tickets to the Knicks. I never been to Madison
Wow.
Square Garden, so I'm like, I'm calling my cousin. I'm like, hey, you want to go to the Knicks tonight? I got 2 tickets. He's like, for sure. He's like, yeah. So we went. They're for real. They weren't like counterfeit or anything. I
Wow.
mean, he wasn't selling them to me. The guy, we like realized he had him. He's like, I can't go. And I heard him talking to his buddy. Dude, I can't go. He's like, you know, and he just offered him to me right there. I'm like, I'll take it.
Sick.
right.
Yeah, that's a come up right
That's
there.
sick.
So
Damn.
Well, speaking of New York and seeing things, you actually have an interesting story about 9/11.
oh well, yeah. I mean, interesting, not the best, but yeah. I lived. So, what do you think of the beer first?
It's fantastic.
I think it's great. I
This
mean,
this is 2 years in the making, so it's kind of rough to
yeah, you can
to
definitely
say
taste
anything
2
bad
years.
about it. But and you know, you don't make a lot of these, but this is
Mhm.
really, really enjoyable.
Drinking something special right here, Nuestra Señora.
So 9/11, you know, I lived on the New Jersey in a town called Jersey City, and it's like right next to Hoboken. And the nice thing about living there was that there was this brand new building. We got married in 2000, Lisa and I I found this place, and it was brand new building. Nobody had ever lived in it. So I got a lease on it before it was finished, and it was going to be finished by the time we moved there after we got married. So I said, cool. It was like we were on the 19th story. We had a riverfront view right on the Hudson, kind of right above the Holland Tunnel. So there's the southernmost tunnel that not is it the southernmost? No, it's one of the main tunnels. Holland Tunnel connects into Manhattan, goes under the river. Beautiful view of the city. You had Empire State Building far left, and then you had all the skyline, and then on the right you would see the Twin Towers. So and then that river was always full of stuff. I mean, you'd be amazed. Like, people would come to our house and stay there, and they're like, it was a 1-bedroom. It was a tiny 1-bedroom, but we paid like nothing. I got it for like $1,300 a month, which was nothing in 2000. Like, I got it. I pre-signed the lease. When they gave us the keys, they're like, we'll give you $1,100 right now if you break the contract. I'm like, what? Because their rent had already gone up like $500-$600 a month. So they're like, here, if you don't want to live here. And I'm like, no. And it had a parking spot on top of that. So it was like, and the subway station was at the bottom of the building. So we could go to the bottom. We had a doorman, and then we go right into the subway station. And then in 2 stations, we were in the West Village. So we were already where we kind of had cool bars and stuff. And then you go up 34th Street and stuff. I used to work in this building, the Citibank building, which is known as the Wedge. You'll see it in a bunch of movies. It's got a big slant on top.
Yep.
It's really big. Anyway, short story. So when you would go from that path station, you got one of 2 ways. You go through West Village to 34th Street, which takes you to Penn Station in the middle of Manhattan. Or you go straight to the World Trade Center, and then there you walk out and you get onto the other trains for New York. You go uptown, downtown, whatever. So we'd always be going one way or another. Well, we lived there, like I said, right there, and I wasn't working. I actually was in between jobs doing a lot of freelance, and my wife was doing some design stuff with an architect. She used to design a lot of the public spaces for all these high-end residential buildings up on the Hudson. So all the lobbies and stuff, she designed them. Long story short, architect doesn't call her till late, and he's like, they had a 10 o'clock meeting, and she's like, you know what, we got to bump up the 10 o'clock, because at 10 o'clock, by the time I get up there, I got to be at rush hour with the design, and she'd have to carry like big boards and stuff. She's like, I don't want to go rush hour. Like, no, let's push it out an hour. So I wake up that morning, and I'm like, I always turn on the TV. It's the first thing I do. I'm addicted to TV. So I turn on the TV, and there's a dude on the TV, and he's like, it looks like a small plane went into Tower 1. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, what the hell? I think it was Tower 1, yeah, because it would have been this. So I pull up the blinds, and I'm looking at the smoke coming out of the top of the building. And I'm like, and it looked like just a little thing. I mean, we were across, but it's still giant. And in comparison, I'm like, oh, some idiot crashed into the tower. What an idiot. I'm thinking there was a plane that crashed into the Empire State Building ages ago. But the Empire State Building is made different, right? It's all concrete, rebar, all that. Crashed in there, and nothing happened. And then they just, fixed it. So I'm thinking, oh, this idiot. So I go over to the bathroom. My wife's in the shower still, just coming out of the shower. I'm like, honey, you're going to have to go 34th Street path, because you don't want to go through World Trade Center. It's going to be a hot mess. A plane crashed in there, a small plane. And right as I'm saying that, I hear the guy on the TV saying, it looks like there's another plane. And I turn around, and boom, the flames come out of the other tower.
Wow.
And it was way bigger than like a little plane. And I was like, oh shit. I'm like, that's not a little plane. I don't know what the hell that is. And I told Lisa, I said, you're not going anywhere, because this is something weird. And that's when they're like, yeah, that's a plane, and that's not little. And they're like, yeah, because they were saying it was like a Cessna. And I'm like, it's no freaking Cessna, bro. The first one wasn't a Cessna. The second one, definitely nobody even said it was. So we're like freaking out now. So I get on the phone. No, I don't get a phone. We had like internet there. This is 2000, but we had a T1 to that building, and you would just kind of pay a certain fee and you got access to it. So we had pretty good internet there at the time, and I started sending like emails like, dude, I don't know what's going on, but we're okay. I took a couple pictures from the living room, sent them out. I get a call from my grandmother in Mexico City, and I'm like, well, I'm like, hey, and my grandmother's like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, we're fine. There's 20 first cousins of mine. There's 20 she's got 20 grandkids.
20 grandkids.
So I'm like the ninth one. So she calls me up, so I'm like, I'm in the middle of it. But so she calls me up. She's like, you okay? I'm like, yeah, we're fine. We're this. But a lot of people in my building worked at the World Trade Center. They worked in the stocks. And so she got through, and then everybody else couldn't get through. Like, you couldn't call anybody. Like, everything was locked. Like, I don't know how she got through. Maybe because it was coming from Mexico. It was really weird. So we started just emailing everybody and then telling everybody, if you talk to somebody else, just tell them we're okay. And I have footage. I had a DV cam, and I grabbed my DV cam and I went out there and shot and everything. What you could see, we had a guy come over. One of the guys that he was there when the first plane came in. He was about to get on the ferry when the second plane came in. And he thought, oh, it was no big deal. He thought it was a Cessna too, because what they were telling him. But he was in Tower 10, in one of the smaller towers, the American Express ones over here. And he's like, I just needed to go home. My kid had fallen off the bed. He had like a newborn. And he's like, I need an excuse to go home. I wasn't going to be there. And he said he was at the ferry, and there's a chain, and they undo the chain, and then people walk on the ferry to go across the river. And he was there, and the second plane hit, and they just saw flames come out. And he said that everybody, fat, skinny, whatever, was jumping over that chain, getting on the ferry, going, wow, let's go now.
Damn.
Like, it was crazy. But, I don't think anybody thought it was going to be as bad as it was. I mean, everybody saw it, and we're watching it. And I remember I had the camera, and I'm watching it, and I'm looking, and I'm like, is that a piece of the plane falling off the thing? And one guy goes like, no, that's not a plane, bro. That looked like a person. Like, there was people falling off.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when that's when it got real. It was like, it's just like your heart just like, I don't know if your heart, but you're like, your lungs collapsed a little bit. You get that sick feeling. And I was like, oh, this is just really weird. And to this day, it's hard for me to talk about it. Sometimes I can get really emotional about 100%. It because it flashes. But I'll tell you, the one thing that gets me emotional every time is I was writing an email, crafting the whole day of what happened, what I just said, because I think, okay, the worst is over. I was like, okay, 2 planes crashed, we're looking at this, people are coming down, the thing's on fire. I'm writing an email, putting pictures, all that. And so I'm not paying attention, but I'm in my living room, and I have the window open to my left, and I'm just typing away. And then I just heard like a little, and I was like, what's that? And then I heard, like, imagine like 10,000 people all just sighing at the same time and just going. And that was the worst feeling ever. And I just looked, I got up and I peeked through my window, and I just saw the building starting to come down in slow motion.
Wow.
And I was like, wow, what the hell? I said, no way. And I'm just looking at it, and those sighs, and like, I cannot breathe, bro. And I mean, I'm across the river. I mean, I'm not in front of it. I wasn't like living down there, but it was, people don't understand, when you would go to the World Trade Center towers, like, those things were massive. Like, you would be coming out of the subway, and you could stand next to them. And if you were in the shade, it was like 3 degrees, like, cooler, and you were in a big ass shade, like half a block of shade, and these things were massive.
Wow.
There were over 100 stories, so there was a massive thing. So when people think, you see stuff on TV, and we're so used to seeing really good special effects, stuff looks so surreal, and then you see it in real life, and you just go like, what the hell? So yeah, I mean, I saw that, and when I saw that thing come down, I was like, that's when I just started thinking, how many people that I know are dying? Like, because 70% of my building worked over there.
Yeah.
Now, the crazy thing is, only one lady from my building died.
Wow.
So only one person from the building. I didn't know her firsthand. I knew her secondhand. she didn't make it. But I did know some people that either committed suicide because of the thing, or a friend of mine was a roadie. He was a roadie at the. They used to have gigs every noon. They had music at noon at the World Trade Center every day at noon. So this dude was like 6'4", 6'5", huge dude. He was a roadie, carried all the equipment, set up, and he was hungover. He didn't make it that day. Wow. He didn't show up, and a lot of his friends died because they're all big dudes. They all went up to help other people, and they didn't make it down. So he was so depressed. I mean, yeah. I remember seeing him after, and 2-3 months after it, he just couldn't take it, and he committed suicide. I mean, it was crazy, man.
Yeah, it was a big thing. It was a big thing. But I was like in elementary school or something, middle school.
I mean, does it affect you? Because I feel when I moved to California, I just really hated 9/11 because I felt like nobody gave a shit.
It did affect.
I mean,
me.
I don't know if I can say that word here.
No,
but,
you can.
You
can.
But
you say whatever the fuck you want, baby.
But I would get really upset because it was like 9/11 and people are like, don't give a shit. And I was like, this is like the worst day ever.
And that's why I wanted to talk about this, because I feel like after 9/11, that brought people together. Like the patriotism, I've never really understood my whole life. I was, man, I'm Mexican. Growing up, you don't know shit. You're just like, yeah, somos Latinos. And after that, there was a big shift for me, being like, yo, this is America, man. Like what happened right there, the flag, everything. There was just a big higher respect factor for me.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think, just being over there, like I remember we were going to Yankees games because my cousins had season tickets. So it was like, let's do something that I'll forget. Because I would see now once they both went down and there's like this thing of rubble with smoke. Yeah. That thing was smoking for like a month. So like, it's right in front of my house. I'm watching it. The river has no transit, no nothing, no helicopters, nothing was allowed. So you could hear crickets and you would just see the light and the rubble on the other side of the river. And it was just super, super depressing. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, the only things to forget is like go to a Yankee game, super patriotic. I mean, I just find it sad that I'm Mexican first because I grew up in Mexico. Yes, sir. But I was born in the States. I was made in Mexico. My mom was 3 months pregnant when they moved to Pittsburgh, and I was born there. Why Pittsburgh? Because my dad got a job there. So that's a different story.
Steeler Nation.
Yeah. But the whole point is I'm Mexican American, but I didn't grow up Mexican American here. It's like I'm not Chicano. I can't. I'm not, because I didn't grow up that way. So I don't. I was Mexican. I grew up, and then when I was little, 4 or 5, we moved back to Mexico, and I grew up in Mexico. And then I came back here to go to college. But I always feel that I'm Mexican first, but I'm American because I love the United States. I lived here half my life. I went to college here. I was born here. And I feel that Americans nowadays are not as nationalistic as even we are in Mexico. Like in Mexico, people are more Mexican. Like, we have to do, when you go to school in Mexico, you have to do honors to the flag once a month, and it's a military style thing, and we do the flag, we take it down, you do all this, and you got to know your national anthem. And I know that in the States we do some pledge allegiance to the flag and all that stuff every day, but I feel that sometimes people for as much of a melting pot of the United States is, we're not as united. We should always say, like, we are Americans, like this is the land of opportunity. You don't have this kind of opportunity anywhere. And to not say that, sure, we're Mexican, Puerto Ricans, Black, Dominicans, Nigerian, whatever, people from Germany, UK, Asians. France. Let's not forget. I mean, I'm forgetting. You can't. I should say, aliens are the only ones not here. Yeah, and we don't know that, right? legal aliens. We won't go there.
Yeah.
But the whole point is we should be more united. In Mexico, understand this. In Mexico, there's 33 states. There's 69 independent languages. 69 languages. In order, you have to be in. I talk to. I don't know the word, but it has to be to be called a language.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to have a certain set of rules, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, not designed by me, but by whoever did. So
Right.
there's 69 in Mexico, not dialects, but languages. There's like hundreds of dialects. There's probably, if not 1,000.
Right.
And there's people from all kinds of different indigenous people and tribes that used to hate each other back in the day until the Spaniards got there and started colonizing them and kind of uniting them all against the Spaniards. Then the Spaniards mixed with them. And now, you could go and some guy could be from Oaxaca and could be Zapoteca. Another guy could be straight up white Spaniard from Guadalajara, but like 10th generation Mexican. Some guy could be a black guy that moved there from Haiti and he's now Mexican citizen. And but at the end of the day, and you could talk shit between each other, but if somebody gets all in between us and says, fuck you, Mexican, we're all Mexicans.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I feel that is it's like it's lost sometimes in the States that we're getting very. I mean, we can all the division is worse now than it was when I was little.
Yeah,
and there should be a pride in being American, but you also want to be a good American, right?
Yeah,
you don't want to be the one they call the nasty American in Europe or whatever, unpolite or whatever, but you should be proud to be American because everybody wants to be an American. And people don't know the opportunities you have here. You can go to college for free. You can go to Maricosta College for free, and it's a great community college. You can go to other schools in other places, my cousins and stuff, they got to pay for their kid to go to private school. They're not going to private school because they're rich. They're not going. My cousins are not rich. They're middle class, but they're paying like private school prices from here to go in Mexico because the public school in Mexico is not that great, right?
It's pretty horrible.
And there are good public schools in Mexico, but on average, they're not good. It's kind of like the majority is like you take the worst schools here in LA, the worst one, and that's the average over there, just because it's the economy of things, right?
Yeah.
So the best school here in the States, on average would be like the best one over there. So like, yeah, some of my cousins, they go to public school, but they're going to go to the best one. And that's and to get into that one's hard because now you got to be smart. You got to take tests, you got to get through, and then you can go to a good public school where you're going to come out with a good degree and then get a chance to go to university.
Yeah.
So it's not like you can't make it in Mexico, but it's just harder. Here, you just have it. And so sometimes it sucks when you see kids or they're like, I just feel I don't want to do that. I'm like, well, it sucks because there's millions of people that can't do that and want to do that, but they can't.
Right.
And we just have the opportunity to say, like, I don't want to do that. And it's fine. I mean, I'm not talking about college. I mean,
right.
You know what?
In the grand,
not everybody needs to go to college. Like let's get that. Like trades.
Facts.
No. I think it's one thing as Americans, we kind of, everybody needs to go 4-year college and stuff like that because we're not. No. You could be a plumber. You could have a trade. I think kids should get, especially if you see like, I'm not interested in 4-year college, but I'd love to be a plumber or an electronics guy or run CNCs at a factory or do a trade, a skill, electrician. And why not have that just started in high school? And I know they got the classes in high school and stuff, but a lot of times it's like, well, I don't want to take English. I'm going to take shop.
Right.
But they're not taking shop as serious because I want to be a mechanic.
Right.
Like I want you to come out of there with a certificate and go and get a job and not have to go and pay 10 grand to some stupid trucking mechanic school that's going to certify you. Like, why do I have to pay 10 grand? Like the government should just give me a certificate for free if I really want to do it.
Yeah.
Now at 16, do you really want to do it? But some kids, you got to entice them and be like, look, kid, you do 2 years here. You get an apprenticeship. You do another 2 years. You could be making $40 an hour. And some other dude that went to college comes out, he's like flipping burgers at McDonald's.
Not even working in the
and
thing
so,
that he went to school
and then
for.
he's in debt.
I was just gonna say those student loans, they don't forgive.
Yeah, and we poo-poo that. And I'm telling you, the better person is the one that made the choice to not go to school because he doesn't want that. But yeah, if you want to go, you can do it. I'm just saying there's nothing wrong in Europe and in like Germany, especially, they classify you early on. And like, you might, if you don't have the goods to go to university, you're not going, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a shame,
Yeah.
but you're not going. But at least they say, no, you don't have the skills. You really have the aptitude right now to go to a trade school. So you want to go to trade
Yep.
school? What do you want? And this is all free. It's like, you want to
Wow.
go industrial engineer, you want to go welding, you want to go plumbing, you go and do that.
Yeah.
But it's there.
The great part about trades is the trade is good all around the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All around the world.
I
Like,
mean, you might have to get recertified,
Of course.
but you know something.
but
You know
at least
something.
you'll know something,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
can you could start an entry level somewhere in Germany or whatever, if that's what you want to do. But it's all about opportunity. It's all about
I
opportunity.
think it's about
100%.
giving somebody a tool that can help them get to step one.
Mhm.
I feel that sometimes everybody always says, "Oh, the dream is to, the if I had this job, it's the dream." Like if you're doing something you love for work, it's not work. I'm like, sometimes the job is just a job.
Yeah.
The dream is to not have to make money,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
The dream is to have
Yeah.
all the money and to do something that's good for you, good for other people, and will make humanity better, right?
Mhm.
But we know that's not going to happen because unless you grow up as a trust fund baby and you happen to be a really good person, then yeah, you are living the dream.
Yeah.
But most of us have to work, and
Yeah.
sometimes the job's a job to get money, but then your passion is something else,
And then
and
you're
that's
looking
a,
at, then you're
and that's
looking at
okay.
time that's being spent as well, and time is the most valuable thing to us
Yeah.
humans, man.
But why spend money paying a student loan when you don't have to? Why put down somebody because they didn't get a 4-year degree? Nobody's better than somebody
Right.
else.
Yeah.
It's just like, you want to get a 4-year degree, by all means. You want to go this, by all means. But if we're in the land of opportunity, why do we make it so like, oh, you can do anything you want, but we're not going to tell you? But then if you want to go, and we'll give you a loan and we'll milk you,
Mhm.
and we'll give you predatory loan terms,
Mhm.
and you can go to this online school. No, it should be free.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying to tell people that like, oh, your your loans are free or whatever. We don't go into that. I don't want to go into politics. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I just think that there's certain rights that we have as citizens of a top-notch country that should be, get some free education, but and pick what you want,
Mhm.
because we need electricians, we need plumbers,
Yeah.
the HVAC guys, dude. HVAC guys, like, that's
Yeah.
where it's at. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
you study HVAC, you just put whatever you want on that invoice. People pay it. Like, it's like, you got to have cold beer.
Yeah. You gotta have a cold view right there.
Yeah. So
We got some more comments over there.
Run them through.
Run them
Pet
through, man.
rats.
They're coming in.
I like
Yeah.
the pet rats.
Yeah. Comments are coming in, man. Shout out to you guys still tuning in right here. I'd pay 40 for Sisu.
Yeah, that's a movie. I haven't seen that one, but it's on my watch list, so I got it. I'll have to check it out.
There you go.
Thanks,
Shout
Val.
out Valeria. We got my sister-in-law had pet rats. They were pretty cool.
Okay.
All right. I like that.
Yeah, thank you, Valeria, for commenting.
Right.
Yeah, pet rats are not the same as the sewer rat. though.
That's a whole
Shout out
other-
to-
though.
whole
Don't
different breeds.
capture the rat in the yard and make it a pet. That's not gonna go well.
Yeah. And we did have more comments on the live, but the live we already extended the time
Oh,
and it
really?
closed
Yeah.
up. Yes. But
Yeah,
I did
so
see a couple. Shout out to Getting Low Photography. They said Kika Labs, you guys are the guys. Shout out, man. Thank you so much, bro. Appreciate you.
Yeah, shout out to
Yeah.
everybody who was tuning in on the IG. I mean, that's why the YouTube's up, man. Go hit up the YouTube. The 50
Dude,
likes
this
that we
thing is
need.
bomb.
It is so
It-
good.
It's
Yeah.
it's not that far away, man. So just to everybody who tuned in to the episode,
I'm gonna take the
100%.
gotitas de la felicidad.
There you go.
appreciate
There you
it. Don't forget, we're here with Raul from Guadalupe Brewery, and we tasted some great beer this whole entire episode. But Raul, before we finish off, I do gotta ask, man. So, where can people find your beer aside from your tap room?
Well, we really only sell it at the Tap House, and we sell it at Carlsbad Brew Supply at the shop in cans and bottles. So we do have like 2 or 3 flavors there, but we'll have 13 beers on tap usually at the Tap House, and then we'll have like 3 or 4 in cans and a couple of the reserves in bottles. We don't sell at any other stores. We're gonna start looking into it. but we probably will only be in like places like a Bottle Craft or something like that.
Right.
But yeah, we're very low key. You know, we love people hanging out and coming in, talking about it. Either way, or if you make your own homebrew, people constantly bring beer over to try out. Like, what do you think? And we'll be critical. We'll be like, well, this is a good beer, but you know, if you want to do this, like, and then you know, guide them in the right direction.
And that's what I love about you guys. You guys are just straight line. You know, you guys don't play around with stuff, man. You guys are straight line and not always just faking it. Because I see a lot of people, man, and they just fake it. You say, yeah, man, everything's great, it's good. And
it's all good, and then you try. You're like,
yeah,
is it really good?
Yeah.
I mean, 100%. Look, I'm not gonna talk smack about anybody.
Yeah,
but hey, if I bring you something, I want you to tell me, you know what, this is crap, or at least I don't like it. It's not my cup of tea. Yeah. It's got too much. I mean, we've had people that like, I'll get to go, it's got too much coconut. I'm like, okay, but and then so that's why we also like when people ask like, I'll have the coconut beer. I'll go like, do you like coconut?
Yeah.
And sometimes people go amazingly. They're like, no, I don't like coconut. I'm like, it says coconut like on the beer. And sometimes they'll be like, oh, like sometimes they read it as Cocoa Blonde, but they don't even read later that it says coconut because they only read the title and they think it's cocoa like chocolate, like cocoa. And like so then so you have to like ask people. I remember there was one. We used to have this sour, and it was like a 2-year-old sour. Like, it was sour as hell. It was the Capulin or something, I think, and it was soured with cherries, but in a bourbon barrel, whiskey barrel. Ooh. So the problem is that it's like a sour, like super sour, but people would read what they want. So they would read like sour ale, and then there's the bourbon barrel beer, and they're like, yes, I want that. And then they get it and like, oh my God, this is so sour. And we'd be like, well, it says sour. It's a sour. We told you it's a sour like 20 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I said whiskey barrel. So I thought it would be like a whiskey stout. I'm like, oh no. Yeah. So it's like you have to, especially when you got some of the funky stuff, you will get, you know, and you're like, oh, well, we'll give you another one. But that took me 2 years to make. It's like an ounce of $1 an ounce. So it's like, well, here goes $5 down the drain.
Yeah.
So we try to be, you know, in part making beer and stuff like that. I mean, it's cool. It's education. You get to talk to people and meet some really interesting people. Did you meet cool people ever, like working there?
Every time, man. I would have conversations with like old ladies, man. Old ladies would come over here, and
is that your thing? Is that no? I mean, not your thing. I don't mean it that way. I don't. No.
I've been told.
I didn't mean it that way. I didn't mean it that way.
I've been told.
What I meant is like sometimes you know you're like you get like a lot of nice.
I just like
senior
to.
citizens.
I just like to talk to knowledge.
Yeah.
You know? And
they
it
got
just
something
happens
good
to be that people that have lived their life. They have
so they were dropping some knowledge on you. What's the coolest story you ever heard that you remember or you don't remember? I put you on the spot, bro.
I remember a lot of things that went down at Guadalupe, but conversation wise, just wide range of topics. But my favorite is just meeting people when like I always try not to judge by the way people look.
Yeah.
And you'd get people coming in there and they look a certain way. And it's like, man, he looks like he's gonna be an asshole here. Let me put my smile on and talk to people, but they end up being really, really cool. And first timers was always my favorite because you get to tell them, hey man, we got this, you know, try this, and they're like, dude, I love this place. And I was, well, keep coming back, please, man. Come on, hang out with us.
It's interesting how you sometimes you prejudge somebody, and so you got to be open book at first. But it's hard, man. It's hard. It's hard. I mean, when I was a waiter and I remember, this guy looks like he's not going to tip.
Yeah.
But you just, like you said, you got to be like, okay, shake it off.
Yep.
Give him the same amount of service. And then at the end, it's like, I'm rolling the dice and, he tipped something. Okay. I'm in order.
Yeah.
100%. But it is, I find there's all kinds of weird, like, you know, 2 degrees of separation kind of thing that you find when you talk to people. It's like, oh, I'm from this place. And you're like, really? Well, I lived like 2 blocks from there. And oh, really? Well, my wife is from here. And then it's like,
it's the number one thing, man. At Guadalupe Brewery, you're gonna meet new people, and the conversations is really what I love about Guadalupe Brewery. You can have conversations with Raul. He'll be there. He'll talk your ear off. But you'll just meet people and be like, hey man, you're drinking the same beer. Cool. Hey, what's your name? You just start talking, you start going off, and you guys have a real big sense of community at your brewery right there. And that's one of my favorite things. Definitely.
Yep. No, we appreciate it, man. We appreciate all you guys.
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah.
And once again to everybody, man, thank you guys for hanging out with us. We got Raul from Guadalupe Brewery, man. And shout out to Louis back there holding down.
Louis in the
Appreciate
sweat
you,
box.
Louis. Yeah, Louis in the sweat box.
Yeah,
Right there.
shout out to the boy Louis. Shout out to Piccolo also, who was here doing the merchandise. And shout out to everybody who commented today too, man. A lot of cool, interesting comments that came through this episode. It's been a fun one, man. And
Remember, next Sunday,
Yeah.
O-side lens on
Yeah.
the turntable.
Yeah, next Sunday, August 6th, we're gonna
He
be
might-
at Guadalupe Brewery for BDS Sundays, the return of BDS
And
Sundays.
Birria Sundays usually means a little bit more Grupo Frontera and
Yeah.
cumbias and
Yep.
stuff.
We will be very
There'll
Latino-centric.
be some 90s
Oh, yeah, we'll
hip hop,
switch up
of
the vibes,
course.
but my favorite thing about doing music and stuff is and I think is a really great skill that I have. I'm able to read the room, and that's my favorite thing. Is just seeing, and you know what, like just playing something, kind of looking at people, and then it's like it's the best thing when you drop something that you thought, you know what, this is gonna change the mood of everything. It's gonna be great. You drop it, and then you just start seeing people talking to each other and just
And they're
vibing.
bouncing a
Yeah,
little
they're
bit. You
bouncing.
see
That's
that?
my favorite thing.
Yeah.
So I always read the room. So make sure you guys come out and let's have a great time. Have a great time.
Definitely.
11 a.m.
Salute, guys. Thank you for having us here. Thank you,
This
sir.
is the Kick It Podcast, man.
Louis.
Shout out to
Yes, sir.
everybody.
Behind the wall.
Yes, sir, man. Thank you guys so much. We will see you guys next time.
Hell yeah.
well, one more time, where can people find you at?
631 South Santa Fe in Vista, California, 92083. No, 8884.
I don't know.
I'm 83 where I live. Downtown is different though.
Yeah.
I know
True, though.
92083 is Vista.
It might be
so
for.
but I think downtown's one different. But regardless, we're on Paseo Santa Fe, the new part, brand new sidewalks. You can walk on brand new sidewalks. You can skate there. You can
cruise
e-bike.
there.
You can cruise. There's a sprinter station. So yeah, we got a back patio for the people that want to chill out in the open vibe. We got a beautiful building that was built in 1930 originally, and we revamped it. It's got original beams and everything, all this wood and a garage, 20-foot garage door window. So just come out, hang out. If it's hot, we got AC inside. Otherwise, you're chilling. You got Birria Mendes 2 doors down. You got a skate shop there. If you got a kid that likes to skateboard, drop him off at the skate shop.
Yeah.
He'll look around. They can skate in the back, do some tricks, talk to the Bricks brothers, and buy some vans there. It's good folk there. There's a panaderia also there, so you can go and buy some pan while you're there for the merienda at night, or breakfast the next morning. So a couple of little things there. It's a neighborhood that's up and coming. We're trying to rebuild it and get some more vibes there. So keep on coming.
Definitely, man. You guys are at the forefront of reviving that section right there, because you guys are one of the only alcohol selling places
right now. There's another
right there,
brewery coming down to the corner, and then 508 Taverns over there.
True.
Shelly,
That's
they make
right.
some great grub. They have they have a Wing Wednesday. I think
I would
really good.
I would love for you to get your beer in there,
Yeah, I could do it. I mean, Shelly's super nice. I'll talk to her.
because I've been going over there for the Korean tacos.
Korean tacos are good there. Bulgogis,
good.
yeah,
They are so good. But
yeah. No, they're
definitely,
good
guys,
folk over there. The road's good. We
He's
got
the man.
We got it coming.
He's the man right here. Raul from Guadalupe Brewery. Make sure you guys go to the brewery, man. Go check it out. Try all the different types of beers that they have, and hang out and chill with the beer tenders, man. They're all fantastic people. But with that being said, Bruce, you want to go ahead and take us out?
Yeah. Until then, catch us around next time. Yo, thank you for sipping up with us. Thank you for toking up with us. Thank you for kicking it.
Peace. Oh, man.